good afternoon overall, and I'll show you why here in a second. A couple of things to be aware of. One, yields continue to plummet at this point this afternoon, too. The dollar coming off as well. This is the 10-year. Currently, we are approaching a 4.1 reading on the 10-year. Last time we were here, you got to go all the way back to September, where we bounced and then went on to take out the high and get all the way up to above 5 and change on the 10-year. If I quickly go over to the 30-year, you'll see a very similar picture. 4.1 on the 10-year, 4.2 coming very quickly on the 30-year. I mean, 2 weeks ago, this was 4.7, 4.8. So what a move to the downside for some of the treasuries. What a move for Rivian today, 7.2% to the upside. If you missed it late last night after the close, the CFO making some comments regarding quote unquote cheaper, lighter, smaller batteries to come in 2024. If you remember going back to about a month or so ago, we heard from the CEO that a preview of the Gen 2 platform for Rivian was going to be available in early 2024. So maybe these two events could be combined. But yeah, big day for Rivian, 7.4% back to the upside. Big day for this one as well. Citigroup, what a reversal off 45. 45 all the way up to 49. And then a tight little consolidation underway here for Citigroup. $500 million in a buyback announced for Citigroup. They also reaffirmed their current projections going into the end of this quarter. What's a bit of a mixed overall S&P 500 to show you, however. Some strength, however, coming out of the banks as a result. JP Morgan really the only one downside. 0.4 under pressure. There's Citi. It's tough to see, but almost 4% as we saw there to the upside for Citigroup. Banks are strong. Some of the healthcare stocks are strong. Some of the defensive type names, DE, Caterpillar, all positive, 1.3% there. Nice day for Tesla. We'll tell you why in a second here, but tech across the board pretty weak. Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Apple, all downside. That's basically all you need to know. Yeah, the market pricing in, just FYI, 6 rate cuts for Europe. Pause. Europe next year, not the U.S., but that kind of surprised me today. Seems like a lot, seeing as how they really haven't had their inflation problem get under control or come down at all in the same way that we've seen in North America. ADP number out this morning. If you missed it, downside in a pretty big way. That was on top of the JOLTS number that we got yesterday, downside in a pretty big way. The big one to come, however, tomorrow in the shape of non-farm payrolls out before the open at 8:30. We'll bring you that as it happens. Tomorrow at 8:30 should be a market-moving number, definitely. Let's touch on Nvidia to get going here. If you missed it this morning, the CEO of the company was talking about working closely, quote unquote, working closely with U.S. regulators to come up with some sort of solution for exporting their products to China. If you remember, U.S. regulators came out and banned their initial version. They adjusted it. Regulators came out, banned that one too. They're trying to adjust it again. It seems inevitable that we'll get another adjustment from regulators, guys, on this ship or potential chips being shipped to China.
I like the ban. I think we talked a little bit about that. Someone said with a hat to match, they're a Dara. So we went and found out a hat to match. I just realized it's a little bit dusty.
It is a little
right there. Just not. I should have done that before the show.
It's live. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You don't notice until you see it. You see it on the camera.
Oh, by the way, how was the pineapple pizza?
It sucked. I mean,
did it? I thought it was.
Well, okay, I don't like pineapple on pizza. I thought it tasted bad, but the bites without the pineapple that had ham were okay. Right. The crust was pretty solid, so was, the pizza itself was kind of well done.
On that note, I went and got Tim Hortons for everybody. So, because we got to have each other's back. So here we go. This is hopefully. Good job, Sharif. Sharif crushed that pizza.
People really liked it, but they didn't want the marinara. Okay, but here's the thing, though.
Sharif, I'm trying to have a moment here, and this guy comes over here. Anyways, Neil, brothers have to have each other's back. So here is your favorite pastry, potentially of all time. Thank you for doing the pineapple. If you're gonna cry, I'll eat the damn thing myself. But
well, you know what? To be honest, like I went through some pain.
I did.
And it hurt, and I didn't enjoy it. That's so sweet. What it is.
Yeah, I got you.
I appreciate this, man.
Enjoy.
I am damn sure gonna enjoy this. 'Cause I really legitimately did not enjoy that pizza. Now I don't remember what we're supposed to talk about. Okay, I'll take a.
Distracted you. I could take it over while you enjoy that, and then Ramin will probably try to find you eating a little bit more there. But you don't have to eat it right now, but that's nice. Okay, so look. Not much to say here about Nvidia, honestly. I still think that 450 level, we talked about it. We talked about it earlier on this morning. That's going to be a level that's going to come into play, but look at this. The market's been going to the downside. I really feel like the semis are going to lead us lower here. Nvidia's down from its past high of 5 bills. It's off of its last earnings report. And I think there's more to come to the downside. I did not trade it today. The only thing, actually, I didn't even trade AMD. I was like, I traded AMD today because I usually do, but I didn't. So I actually do not have any, so right now we have a big winner on Microsoft. If you guys have been following me on chat, I did hold this. We did talk about, that's just lucky that we have the bottom there. There's really nothing else. I was bidding 25s. It happened to hit. Complete fluke to have that bottom. And then we just crossed out when it broke through the 50 period. So we are very, very light on this one. And then finally, Affirm got a little bit of money back on this one as, look at that. We also got stopped out. We will, I mean, there we go. That's done already? Well then.
I think I'm messing around.
No, I noticed that. Even he's getting every last piece. I like that.
I don't mess around.
But anyways, yeah, not much trading. Oh, the other name that I liked yesterday was Intel. Again, I'm not sure if we have any trades on this.
Position board again.
The position board's gone. That's okay. We'll get it all figured out. I just got stopped out at GameStop again, by the way, as we tried another long at 15. This one, thankfully, was 15 cents of a hit. So NBD, it is my number one stock to the downside today, is GameStop, and we just got crushed on that one. We're excited for the market recap show today because we do have GME earnings.
GameStop, baby.
So, oh yeah, that's a good one. Let's go over to Neil, talk a little bit about ARM. Yeah, because that's a good name.
I actually, look, there was an intention to trade Nvidia today at one point. And if you, I'm sure if you rewind, like wax poetic about like the setups and all that stuff that we were interested in. Just if it doesn't set up, you don't trade it. So I didn't trade it, but ARM did set up. The only mistake with ARM, that fritter was delicious, by the way.
No problem.
It was, I mean, like legitimately, that was.
I mean,
that's the funny thing about this is, shout out to, I'm straight up. This is not me trying to like say, you know, because I'm Canadian, I love Tim Hortons. But the consistency with which, like, I have never in my life had a bad apple fritter.
Yeah.
It is just as delicious every single time I eat it. And trust me when I tell you, I've probably had more apple fritters than the average person from Tim Hortons. Okay? And when I say that,
I don't think that's probably, I mean.
When I say that, it's, I mean, if I were to estimate how many I think I've had in my lifetime, let's just say there's a decent chance it's somewhere close to 700 to 800. And I don't know why I can say that specific of a number, but I've had a lot. It's the it's the only thing I eat at Tim Hortons, and I've been eating them since I was a kid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. What was I talking? It was ARM. So ARM, we left you with this, and I failed by not shorting the 65 level. If you're wondering why was 65 obvious, this is why. But you had to take that right at the open. It came right into 64, 75. You had to get in early. I didn't. So when you miss, if I missed the top, I look for like the first bounce, generally speaking. So it made a bounce here, but that's right at 945. Simply waited for it to take out a support level. It took out support, came back in. Support turns into resistance, literally my favorite setup, or resistance to support. So I shorted it in front of 63. That was the idea I left you with. The mistake was getting trailed out at 62. My best fill was in at 88, but I got trailed out at exactly the moment where, hey, look at that, it's about to head lower, but that's what happens sometimes. So ARM to the downside, I might still like this. There's a little bit of room left to the bottom, which would be $60.80. That might set it up for like a 62 short that has room to go for this afternoon. So that's where I'm looking in terms of chip names, what you might have just seen before the position board went haywire. Oh, thank you for that wick on Apple. That's gonna, okay, well, it's gonna be hard to see. But I was long in front of 193 on Apple. This is, trust me, this is a losing trade, even though it looks like it didn't move. I was long at 193. I think my average price was 8 or 9. And I got out there at 98. So I lost 10 cents there on Apple. It's trying to head higher. I'll get rid of this wick so you can see it better. You know what? I can show you here my black chart. There you go. So Apple was breaking out VWAP at 193. I had the long. I wanted it to get to this local high, which is about the 30s. I might jump back into this trade because I do like this level. wet the old proverbial beak and give it a couple of extra shekels if I see some buyers in there. But this is the idea. It's trying to break back above VWAP and hold 193 on Apple. That's the long I'm looking at currently. The only position I'm in is lucid short.
All right, all the information on the show is always brought to you by our friends over at Benzinga. Take advantage, guys. You still can get an absolutely fantastic deal. 75% off Benzinga Pro monthly subscription as low as $49.25. The everything terminal for retail traders. It's so easy. We're going to talk about Palantir, but all you have to do is type in PLTR. Shows you everything you need to know. It has this great drop-down feature as well. So you can read through the story, and then if it's not the one you're looking for, you just pull that back up, go to the next one, drop that down. You can pop them out into a new window as well. Yeah, can't go wrong. You get charting as well with Benzinga Pro. So go check that out. Again, 75% off. Link down right now. Description, 75% off, $49.25. Shout out to Benzinga. All right, let's talk about Palantir. There was this, what was it called? Sambro or Sam something?
Sampo.
Sampo, that was it, thank you. A company out of Japan that they teamed up with going back to 2019. That company ended up with a whole bunch of shares of Palantir. They ended up selling all of their stake pretty much going into today. So it was a gap to the downside today. I mean, this thing got flushed out of the gate this morning all the way down to 17. Here we are. Hasn't done much since, but 4.5 on this today.
Yeah, Brendo, and they expanded their partnership back in February to the tune of about $50 million. It says it's being said here that the insurer, which is what Sampo is, cleared about $500 million on this trade. So we'll have to see how they do. As of Tuesday, though, Palantir has tripled almost in value on the year, Brendo. So good luck.
Yeah, still a huge move, as you said, but big day downside here, guys, for PLTR.
So it's down 4.5%. I think I look back at this, there was an opportunity to reload a short in Palantir. Now looking back at it, Sean's changing the hat right now because we're talking about Palantir. There's no point having a Palantir hat. Oddly enough, that hat goes with the lumberjack better than the. I love our Trader TV caps. I have one at home though, where when I'm doing yard work, essentially, a cap.
I wear it in public, promote the business. You know what I'm saying?
I literally, if you know me, I don't wear a cap in public.
I don't really wear it either.
I wear a cap to Blue Jays games, and that's pretty much it. Or if I'm doing yard work and I just need something to keep the sun out of my face.
Out of your eyes there. You don't need to suntan up.
But as I said, the Palantir
You should see
green.
Michael Noss the other day on the show.
Did he go lumberjack as well?
No, he always goes lumberjack, but the guy was out there shoveling and his face was like red as if he just got back from Cuba or something. And I told the guy, because honestly, that's the one thing when you're shoveling, the reflection off the snow.
It's easy to overheat a little bit.
You probably get,
and then that's why people sometimes get heart issues. And that I was in Halifax. That was legit packing snow. If he was shoveling out east, because we made like a fort and everything, and we were doing a snowball fight. It was legit heavy packing snow. I'm glad I didn't have to shovel any of that crap. But I should have been shoveling more shorts in Palantir. That was a mistake not to have reloaded the short. It was a huge flush into 17 at the open. I reloaded twice and neither one of them worked. That's back in here. But this is on a 15-minute. Look at it reject the opening range high. Right back in here at 10:45. You could have shorted 1780 and then just been sticking with it pretty much all afternoon. So Palantir, a bit of a missed opportunity, I think, at a reload trade because the short has been good. You look at the daily chart, it's broken 18, and now it's under the 50 period moving average. There isn't a heck of a lot to look at till you get to $15 on Palantir. I love the 13.5 level. What's good about this level, if it gets back there, this is going to be the 200 period moving average if it creeps back into that 13.5 area. So that's, if I like a stock in the long term, you're looking for entries on swings, all that kind of good stuff. I'm not saying it gets there, but if it does get there, I think it'll set up a pretty good buy opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's going to set up a great buy opportunity. We did hit that up. I was looking to see it. There was a note there from the score, but it's not about Ohtani.
Odo?
No, it's not a football one. It's not a baseball one. It's football.
Made me check, though.
It was just, made me check. All right, so look, we we got really aggressive with this real early. We were just short Palantir there right off the open. That's the first candle, the second candle in. Once we started seeing this thing collapsing, and you can sometimes look at the level 2 and be able to tell that at least there's something going on. I didn't know it was going to go down this low. I mean, thankfully we have the low of the day, but this is why you piece trades out when they do come like this, right? It's like, I didn't know how far we're going to drop down. I'm very, very surprised that we have like a 705 fill or something like that, 1705. And then it came back up. We shorted it again. And then we shorted it one more time ahead to 50 pair and then got stopped out there. So bunch of in and outs. This whole kind of garbage there is pretty flat, but it was this trade early that started it. Palantir down to the bottom. I love the name, want to be an investor. Again, I'm still in, want to buy more. And I think down here near the 200 period is where we lie. So let's wait to see if that hits. But I like Palantir. And then another play that you can look at into this is Snowflake. And Snowflake right now down, now up 1%. But another name that's not had the same fate there as Palantir. So I'm wondering if there's kind of like maybe a little bit of a hedge trade right now that you could put on if you almost went short Snow but long Palantir, or long Palantir at these levels, maybe short Snowflake. But anyways, not that they trade exactly alike. I just always look at one and the other. This one still remains healthy up here at 190. So Snowflake and Palantir going in opposite directions.
All right, on to NIO. Back to the downside here after a nice start to the day anyway. If you missed it this morning, the company announced they're going to spin off their battery manufacturing unit. They also reported pretty much better than expected. It wasn't actually that bad, but you can see we're retracing here on the daily chart. Got above $8 there briefly.
Yeah, it's interesting, Brendo, because we saw them spin off the chassis manufacturer that they were working. Sorry, they actually bought the chassis manufacturer that they were working with making the chassis for the the batteries that go on the bottom, and now they're spinning off their battery division. So it looks as if they're adjusting the way they approach it somewhat. Recall that they did report deliveries yesterday, Brendo, up 75.4% year over year with 55,000 and change delivered.
Yeah, 5.25% here. Still pretty good. Couple of days back to back off that earnings report. But as I mentioned, downside right now, guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So just before let me get to that in a quick second. But AMD is making fresh lows. They had an event at 1 o'clock and they're making some fresh lows in here. So this is currently moving the market. Well, it's moving in the market while the market's not making fresh lows. Kind of eyeballing 118. That looked pretty significant. There you go. So 118, if we didn't close at 118, but I mean, it's close enough to the close price that I'd look for that to be resistance this afternoon. It's already showing you some rejection at the 118. The double bottom is here. The only reason I bring it up now, and we're jumping topics, is you have a double bottom the last 2 days at 116.40. And that is now 50 cents away. So obviously a significant price level incoming. On advanced micro devices, I don't know if there's a trade this afternoon in NEO, but it's very close to where it broke out from. I love the fact that the good news for NEO is it's held. Oh, there he is. What's up, Randy? It's up 5.5%. That's the good news. The bad news is it just failed $8 again. Again, which is like the 8th time it's failed $8.
Coffee.
I got an apple fritter.
Of course you did.
Sean got it for me, so I'm in a good mood.
I asked Rand if he wanted coffee. He reaches in his pocket to get out some money, and I'm like, just get me next time, man. I mean, we're lucky enough to have a Tim Hortons real close, so.
The old office, well, this is back at the old location. You actually had to walk, a good 5 minutes to get to a Tim Hortons, which in Canada is a disaster, especially in the winter.
Tesla.
Andy Randy, people are saying.
Yeah, Tesla's not doing bad. It's up 1.5%.
Ooh, oil, Randy.
Oil, no, that's not good. Not
Getting
good today.
$98 now for XOM. Is that, we're well off. Look at XOM, make the move to the downside. There might be some buying opportunities in the energy space. Hard to.
Some things are holding out though. Like Chevron's actually holding on, which is that's a good sign, I think. My daily's not loading.
See you later.
There we go. I was going to say the only good thing about, since we're jumping to oil for a second, Chevron in all of this mess has managed to hold the 140 level candidly, 141 level candidly. I bought 141s the last chance it got down here. But the fact that this isn't breaking lows, I think is a decent sign, because any oil name that is not breaking lows, you should like. Are those the cards?
Yeah, so this is, we just got our pitchers back. This is just one of them. There's more. Yeah,
like
that's
that.
her with her rep team, the Etobicoke Dolphins. This is my daughter Gia, so shout out to her. She just got the cards. Well, it's the pictures. There's a bunch of different ones. There's ones where they're like pointing.
You don't have the physical cards yet, though.
Oh no, she just took this
Okay.
2 days
It
ago.
was just picture day. Gotcha.
Yeah. So there you go.
I love the cards.
And she started with the bows in her hair. So shout out to JoJo Siwa. I don't know why I know that. But anyway.
Now you have to fill the rest of this in.
No. JoJo Siwa is a dancer / entertainer. She's a little kid that wears bows in her hair.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So anyways, now everybody on the team, she's not a little kid anymore.
Should I know who
but
that
she
is? Should I know? Like,
I think she's Mickey Mouse Club. Like she used to be, I don't know if she's done anything now, but she's famous for bows. I mean, you can. Yeah, she sells those bows, by the way, the JoJo. I mean, look, if you have daughters, you probably know who JoJo is, but the thing is like.
maybe I don't want to know this yet.
Because
then it'll be.
I don't know what she's done.
My daughter
She had a
already
skin
has to have a bow in her. She has to have like a bow or something in her hair at all times.
Dance Moms. Okay, so she's on Dance Moms? I don't know. Anyways, my daughter's watching Dance Moms like crazy right now, too.
Oh, really? Aaron wants to do ballet instead of acro this next year.
Ballet, yeah. Not bad.
Which I think I'm confused at that because she loves gymnastics. I thought acro would be the thing. I'm wondering whether ballet I think requires too much patience for my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit worried about that. But I love those cards. You gotta show us the action shots because I love the action shots more than the just the
Well, no,
regular
but they were all
pose.
prepared. It's just the action shot would be like her doing something there. It's not like playing.
Oh.
I have lots of.
See, that would be
for playing.
cool if they would, and they should do this for kids' sports. If they took it to the next level, and the photography company was actually getting quality action shots while they're playing, like a celebration to a goal or something.
Yeah.
Would you not pay? I would pay more for that.
I have some of those myself, but you're
No,
right.
but I'm like
it should be-
like high-level professional. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not taking professional photos when I watch my daughter play because I suck.
Right, but my wife does. You're right though. I think more professional.
No, I suck. I'm not good at taking pictures.
Yeah. To each.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. All right, let's go back. Neo.
Neo, good long.
Oh
Now
man,
it's-
Neo is so net to net. Microsoft's going to be my number one. Actually, oh man, a lot has changed. Amazon is now my number one stock, but the number one trade idea of the day is this one for me. We wrote it down on the sticky note. It was N to the I to the O. It's Neo. It's everyone besides Cherie's favorite Chinese EV. And the thing is like,
though?
I don't know. I made that part up. Yo, I'm telling you, disable that man's keys right here. But the guy's unhinged.
You can just
over
walk over
there.
there and unplug it if you want. Like, that's
Unhinged
ridiculous.
with the I said everyone's favorite besides yours, man. I don't. Anyways, okay. That was a good trade. Unfortunately, it goes up to 825. We didn't get out. We're still at a very, very small piece. I don't even really know why. So right now, that is what it is. But it's a move, and it's Neo, and it was a good trade today. Let's go back over to the desk and regroup a bit.
All right, another one that was a decent move. Yeah, it's continuing here. There was a huge volume spike there. I was trying to find if there's anything else, but on Neo that was downside. But anyways, let's go on to Shopify here. Another one that basically opened and went straight downside as well. Wedbush with a downgrade on Shopify. That said, though, we are still holding up here on a higher time frame.
Yeah, they had their investor day yesterday, Brendo, and after that, obviously, analysts got to chiming, and essentially what the Wedbush analyst said, while Shopify's growth and margin trajectory is encouraging, we think current valuation already reflects the upside to our numbers and consensus. So they're saying price to perfection. Should be noted that 48 analysts are covering the stock with a majority of buy, and the mean price target is $70.
Did you guys have you yet covered inside days?
No, we haven't, actually. Very good one.
This is an inside day.
It's a great topic because I think when you're trading a stock that's having an inside day, there's a very specific, like you have to be very discerning in terms of your entry prices and the way in which you trade it, because you already know implicitly you're not going to get that explosive move. Like, it's not going to go Affirm to the upside on you, or what Coinbase has been doing the last little bit. If it stays inside, you know what you're going to get out of it. Potentially, because you think top to bottom, like 75, yesterday's range, 75 top-ish, 71 bottom-ish. So that's a $4 range. If you're trading it away from that, you got to expect less. Now, I'm offering 73, but the reason I missed this trade is because I wanted to get filled in the 72.80s to have a relatively tight stop.
I'm like trying to fix his chair here. You know what I did? I fixed the wrong thing.
What's going on today?
There we go.
Uh,
Oh my God. This is really.
We're live. We're live, everybody. And the funny thing is, a lot of times, here's what I'll say about Obi. Obi will never, he doesn't change the way the chair is set up. So when he sits in for a couple of days, I don't have to adjust my chair back. I'm not gonna throw out any names out there, but there were others that have, before that chairs on the floor, they'd come in, they'd fill in, and next thing you know, like I go to sit down and it's way higher, or I'm leaning out in front like this, and it's nice. Like,
I'm off my rocker. That was a
nice
good one
to
there.
that.
What's up, Shinobi?
That was actually pretty jokes, because I've done the same thing. I don't like
Chairs have,
adjusting the chair.
all these settings. I tried to hit the right one. Instead, I went the one that made it
too
go forward.
sensitive.
All of a sudden, it's like snap. At least the chair didn't break. Thank God.
It was funnier if you got a chance to see the reaction. You just saw me laughing.
You know what could have hit? The Metal Gear. There we go.
I don't know if that fits. You have the Wilhelm screen? There it is. That's what you should have hit.
Man,
Hit that again.
What's up with MLGO right now? I just heard in my ear, and I see
love
on the
that.
chat as well. MLGO.
Oh, goodness. Yes.
Micro algo right now. Yeah, it's starting to go 8,850 here for MLGO, up 240%. I guess as soon as we took out that 550, it was see you later. Don't know much about this. Trying to let this load up to see where we're coming. Whoa. Okay, maybe not a great chart to look at here. All right, breaking through 550. Let's do a little bit more work, but it's MLGO. It's really starting to go right now, MLGO. Yeah, there's that break, 657, starting to go. A couple halts, most likely.
2.77 float.
Okay, so just under 3 million for a float. I actually don't see, did it halt? I don't see it halting at all, which is strange. Okay, well, is the halt system broken? You mentioned something else earlier today.
There was another stock that did not halt when I was convinced.
This should have halted right there, 650 in a straight line to $8. But anyways, I don't know. All right, so straight up to the upside there. No halts on this, says Dan McIsaac. And it looks like it's just going straight up fire to the upside into 850 right now. So MLGO continuing to go.
Yeah, that should be a halt.
All right, I was just reading a couple of headlines on that one. There was something this morning at the open for MLGO on the education side of things, a software company, but yeah, 2 million float. So my guess is that is the news for MLGO. All right, crypto. As far as the individual stocks are concerned, it hasn't been that eventful of a day, but overall, I mean, we're holding up here quite nicely as far as BTC is concerned. Coinbase did break that low from 2 days ago. That's really the only one that was standing out when I looked through them earlier.
Yeah, coin was up like about 2 1/3 in the pre-market. Now it's down about 2 1/3, Brendo. But Bitcoin continues to make that higher low, higher high pattern we saw yesterday when it knocked on the door 44.5. Again, a few tailwinds like I talked about. Obviously, we have the spot Bitcoin ETF coming up hopefully soon. If they get approval from the SEC, we also have the halving event in May. And, interest rates, we seem to be reaching peak interest rates here. So more of the speculative assets are running.
Don't tell anyone. Did you read any of the comments today from the Bank of Canada?
I didn't, not yet.
Very, very hawkish, which was interesting, to say the least. A lot of people were expecting that to be the other way around. But.
You and I talked about this in the podcast, the fact that in 2024, 2025, a lot of these 5-year fixed at low rates are coming for renewal, so this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, there was a full 100 basis points worth of cuts priced in on this side of the border, but Bank of Canada doing their best to talk that down. There's Mara, just to compare, as we saw a big red candle for Coinbase, but Mara hanging out here.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon with his comments.
Yeah. Got a new position on Disney right now. What do we want to talk about? Crypto. Okay, just quickly, then we can go over crypto. I just want to talk to people about this. So I was actually really surprised when I looked at Disney. Like, this was a huge move from 90 to 92.60. Like, felt like that was a big move that I missed. So I looked over at it and was like, okay, let's find this out. And then I wanted to wait for a VWAP break, but then to me that wasn't good enough. So I wanted to let it get through some of these levels here that it was bouncing around. And then I just chose 60, so it would have been better to short like 65. But I'm going to give this The 50 period's right here, so I'm going to give this one to 80s or so. So 20 cents worth of risk. Maybe this is a trade that we can hold the rest of the day as the market, and this is just the NASDAQ, but right here you can see the ES trying to go down. This is going to matter a little bit more to Disney than the NASDAQ. So let's wait to see here if we can get a little bit of momentum back. We will average in. We'll take the same amount of shares here at 91.75 for VWAP, but we are giving this to about 91.80-ish or so for this move. Affirm is really, I mean, crypto or not, I don't know if people are paying their bills with crypto or not, but Affirm is making another leg down here, and we still have a piece of this. So getting ready to possibly cash out in and around $39 here for Affirm, but I didn't trade anything crypto related today, to be honest with you.
I got Square. I just re-entered Affirm, but I can go over Square. I was in Square, and Square is relatively strong, but this is very similar to a couple of other trades where support, this is support at 60.69. It broke and turned into resistance. I shorted it to 68.5. It then reestablished 69, and now it looks suddenly strong again. Like this was a stock, I thought it was breaking down. I like to short underneath 69 even on Square. The other one worth looking at here is going to be Coinbase. So Coinbase, and again, obviously it's been on a crazy run. Everybody knows this. It's been absolutely flying, but you've now tested 150 a couple of times or close to it. You get a lower high in there today. The morning support was this 138 level, which was also support for the last 2 days that we tested 150. It broke, and now it's turning into resistance. So you got to keep an eye on Bitcoin. Obviously, it's going to matter, but I feel pretty good that if this pops and gives you over 137, I want a 138. I want a short in front of 138 on Coinbase this afternoon. It looks like it's stepping down, and obviously, when it moves that much to the upside, look at this daily chart. Like there is potential, I mean, all kinds of potential for reversal. When this is starting to show you weakness, it's worth getting in. I like 138 on it. As mentioned, Affirm just broke a support level. I only liked one. Okay, let me show you the daily chart to show you why 141 matters. You have to go all the way back to here. So this is 41 on Affirm. So as it got to that price, I waited for it to get to 41. It did not work on the way. On the way back in, I'll show you the 3-minute, lower high. This is the last test of 41 even. It had support at 41. The second it cracked back beneath it and made this wick to 41.07, failed the lower high at the 41 level. 41's the level I like. Then enter the short there. Was able to get 88s and I think some 90-somethings. I'm back in now that it's breaking this bottom, and I want to give this to the 50 level. 55 actually is going to be the stop. But Affirm was on a tear, still up 3%. I just feel if Coinbase, you got to be patient with coin. So yes, I can like 138, but it doesn't mean I want to short it down here. If it gets above 137, I want to be very, very patient. This crypto name has a lot to give back.
And that MLGO is still going. I just want to give another update here. We just took some 82s. I was actually waiting at 81s for NIO. Thought I was going to get them. I would have much rather punched more shares, but we are in this for NIO. And if it does come back down, like I could just bid 82s and get some more shares here, but let's just wait for 81s. We did get some 82s, so that was the fill there. And I just, it just came back. So we're going to give this to about 775 or so. So if that hits, that hits. We'll wait for that one. All right, how is Amazon our number one stock? Anyways, the new position is Disney. We sort of talked about that. And I just got out pretty much of everything on Affirm. So we'll keep a little spot there on Affirm, but Disney is the new position. I like it. Let's see where it goes from here. That, of course, is Disney. So we'll wait, giving it to 80, 85 or so before we eventually get out. But, I mean, this line is getting lower and lower right now. Let's just go. I don't think I have it out yet. 91.82 to get out of it all, okay? So that was what we'll do there and see if we can have some success on that. All right, that's Disney. The other name I want to talk about real quick, was Amazon. Look, I talk all the time what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to do is relative strength. So those of you that always ask me, what strategy do we use, and then what are we looking for? I try to keep it as simple as possible, and this is VWAP right here. So there's a bunch of shorts into VWAP. It worked, so we did it again. Came back up to VWAP. We shorted it again with similar outs. So that gave us, that gave us a nice move there on Amazon back in. You guys must do a lot of shopping on Amazon, Randy? Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does. This is the number one stock here today. A couple reloads, couple moves down. This one, 146 O's down to 145. That's $1. We put that in our pipe, and then right there again, back down in. We're going to watch out for that one. But right now, we just reloaded some. We had this trade off the stick, Randy, all the way to the upside for NIO, breaking 780. Now upside, it comes back in, and then we do this. We get reloaded. Yeah, Roku I consider Roku kind of like the widowmaker of stocks because this name just moves like crazy sometimes. Yeah, nice move up to 106 today and back down. Look at Roku's bottom, Randy. October, Halloween. If only we had known what a scary night it was. $56 down there for Roku at Halloween, all the way up to 105 right now for Roku. Randy, you own a Roku? A Roku, not the stock. No, you do not. Okay. You know anybody that does? I mean, we have this game. Yeah, we kind of have this game on the show where we never know anybody that owns Roku. But anyways, for me, it's not really a trade as we're a little bit off of these levels right now. I'd like to see this come back up into 104. So, all right, Disney's getting a little spicy, man. What you can load up on your Roku is Disney Plus. Whether or not you'll find anything to watch is up to, I don't know. But there it is. We take that break. I'm here all day, Randy. So I want to get more short at VWAP. So as you can see, if it comes back into that level, then we'll hit that more short. Maybe we're wrong. But remember, we went short sort of thinking this market was going to head back down to the downside. If it wants to trend up to VWAP, I've sort of already wrote a note down, and we talked about this. Neil wasn't here the other day, but it's just like, why are you going to put in more risk? Really, I mean, to be honest with you, at this time of day, if you don't have a setup that is kind of like an A+ setup, the market's been drifting a lot. And I just, especially in the afternoon, like, does this really set up, for good day trading? I mean, you're going to get shaken out there because you're nervous the long is going to break. Then when you go long down here, you're like, uh-oh, I'm near the bottom of the day. Is this going to work? And then when it breaks, you're going to get out only for something like this to happen, where you get that wick bottom there at 1 o'clock. And it's like, oh, wow, you just sold your, I mean, I probably have some examples of areas where I maybe got triggered in or out on that right there. So it's like, uh-oh, it's breaking the low of the day, which it did do. Boom to the bottom, they've run the stops, and then it just comes right back up again. So I feel like you want to stay patient right now if you can. Maybe average in a little bit. I mean, I don't necessarily think that averaging in is always the best thing to do. We've talked about that on the show, but as long as you're inside some of these levels, and Brendan mentioned an inside day, then I think you want to remain true to the strategy that you have and just try to trade off of some of these key levels. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to hit the panic button. If we do break above this level right here, 91.82, then we're going to get out. And we are trying to average in right now. We're waiting for 75. So a couple more pennies higher, we'll average this in. My average price will be 75 plus 60, like 67-ish or so. So we'll see 67 out, 82. It'll be a 15-cent hit. Well in our pocket of risk management right now. And a trade that I didn't mind. I know Disney's up, so it's going against what I thought initially by trading weak names to the downside. I just was excited when we broke VWAP and thought we were heading back down. I mean, Disney's bottom today is 90.80. So I feel like the risk to reward is here. There we go. We're now short more.
So a couple of things. Someone's asking I saw a couple people asking about Sofi.
Okay.
So we went over Sofi this morning, but I was out of the position before we left the morning show. But it's still looking pretty weak. Unfortunately for Sofi, I think today qualifies as a bit of a failed break. I was excited to see it holding above $8 when I sat down. Obviously, I wasn't here the last couple of days. To see it consolidate above what was a downward channel on Sofi, it had me bullish. It made a nice breakout this morning. I was pretty much all out when it was 820s and it failed at 835. I got out when it was breaking 825. It ends up holding 813 right in here, and I could have re-entered that trade, but it's hard to catch. It was looking pretty bearish at that moment. Fact of the matter is, I think you're retesting $8 imminently. So that's the level to wait for. Like, I don't want to mess around. Like, it's making a double bottom here, but that's like 804, and it's at 811. But I really do think if I'm trading this afternoon, it's either maybe you can short it here, like at 15 with a few cents worth of risk, or just let it get to the actual bottom if you want to scalp below. So I still think Sofi above 8 is a good price and a good stock above the $8 level. Just not a huge fan of any afternoon trades unless I'm getting it right at that bottom or closer to that $8 range. You got to be more, what's the word? Either the stock is going to move a lot, or you're going to trade something that's not going to move as much, and you have really, really tight stops, which generally speaking means you have to get very, very tight entry prices. You have to identify like the MLGOs of the world, which are going to give you, for an $8 stock, well, you don't have to worry about every 3 or 4 cents on your entry on MLGO. You do on Sofi in the afternoon, because that's going to be a third of your trade. If you're making 10 to 15 cents, then you care about 3 or 4 cents on that. You don't MLGO, no one cares. Like you get 55 or you get 65 long, all you care about is does it break 9? Which, by the way, this has now come back underneath the $9 level. I did look up the daily chart for this, but it's kind of a, I don't know if you showed this.
What?
Like this daily on MLGO.
Well, the thing is, you had on Trade Ideas, our charts were not as kind.
Yeah, so if you look at, like, it's obviously this is a great break at that 550, but there's this wick exactly to $10. My guess is that 950 top is because there's sellers out in front of that 10 on the daily. So if this breaks 10, if this can regain the high of the day and take out 10, that's kind of a big deal for MLGO. Bloody Botter. Is NEO a good long-term hold at these levels? Well, you heard me say this morning that I kind of wish I had taken this. The thing is, I don't have a catalyst for why I would enter into a NEO swing. You have a great support level at 7. I just, generally speaking, when I would make a trade, I'm not really thinking about investing in NEO. But if I was to trade it, because I have made trades like this, and I'm looking for an opportunity to maybe get into Rivian, like, yeah, you can have a stop underneath 7, but where's your entry point? Like, closing above $8, closing above the 50-period moving average. Those are things that would get me interested. It could do that today. As a matter of fact, I thought it was going to do that today, but it's just not happening with NEO. So there's a good support level. I mean, it's easy to say, just get out of a long if it breaks like 690 or something. But the other part of that is, what's the reason to get in? It hasn't done anything incredibly bullish except for bounce off support. Well, it's done that before, and those were actually all shorting opportunities back into the same 7 level. So I'd like to see it close above $8. If it closes above $8, maybe on a weekly, then I think I'd probably look long with a 7 stop. I just think if that happens, Rivian's probably a play that I'll like better if that can finally get going. Speaking of the devil being Rivian, Rivian is going to close above its 250 period moving averages on the daily at the same time today. So I think I like that. Like, and I said Rivian because I knew this was true of it, that, okay, Rivian has a much better low, a higher low at 15, and is breaking out here. So this is going to close above 18. I like that entry. I might pick this up. Like maybe tomorrow at the close. I want to see where it closes today first, and then make a decision tomorrow if I like this. And then you have a long. I'd have myself a stop underneath $15, and I'd be looking for a retest of the highs in the 20s. But I just got out of Affirm when all that was said. Affirm go. There it is. I mean, it's going to look like a tight stop. I still gave it like 30 pennies, so it's not that tight of a stop. I still like this underneath 40, so I'm looking for shorts under 40. Tried the first one under 65. It might set up there again in this tight consolidation. Otherwise, I wait for the $40 level that's already shown me resistance. I like those.
Guys. It's Mickey Mouse in the building right now with Disney. So we actually get that 75. We told you our average price has actually turned out to be 68 right there. So there's an out at 65. There's a couple 61s coming in, as well as here we go back down into the downside. So again, Disney adding to the list, and because we have an overfill, sorry, not an overfill. We didn't overfill. I wish we overfilled. Look where this thing's going right now. Okay, there it is, man. It's Disney. Nice move to the downside. And again, remember the risk to reward ratio. We're short at 71 right now. You saw me put the out at 82. So give a little bit of, well.
What was that? What did you break? I just heard you break something. What was that?
That's a stir stick. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is from Aroma. It was right here. I don't know the last time I had an Aroma coffee.
What's going on around here?
It's like a fidget thing. I was just holding it. All of a sudden, I went like that, and it.
We're gonna get you like a fidget spinner.
I don't even need a fidget thing. I was just sitting here like, I don't know. Oh, I have this guy here. This.
The grip thing.
This is called Globby, but now it's like.
Yeah, a trader left like a wrist grip thing that I have over at the bridge.
It used to be but now it's like. The rock. It used to be one of those. What do you like a stress toy?
Yeah. Yeah, that is literally called a stress toy. That's right.
Yeah. Hello. But yeah, right now we are, okay. That reload on Neo, I know we were just talking about that a little bit. Whatever. Puff, pass on that one. And then right here, Disney. Again, this is the one that I'm most excited about because it's the newest position. It's the only one that we have on here right now. Well, I lie, I have 5 positions, but it's the only one that we put on for you lately. This Affirm trade is from Time, and we just covered that at the bottom there, so we have a very, very small piece. I'm gonna hold it and see where it goes, honestly. I don't mind that. So the reason why you'll often see me holding some of these pieces is because I'm trying to get better at holding things for longer. So I really want to see if some of the strategies to hold things for longer actually make any sense. I'm never going to hold the full piece. Like when this comes down, I'm always literally always getting something out on the way down. But we did really good to hold this Microsoft trade off VWAP and then get in at the low of the day. But then when it broke the low of the day, we still had a piece back on. So we got another piece out. Then we got a piece out on the 50 period. And now again, as Microsoft goes all the way back up, we're still $1.30 in the money, waiting to reload this near in around 371 there for Sir Softy. Someone, it was in the chat, Sharif said that you were trying to ask me about my P&L. I think it was you, Paulie D. I don't know what the question was exactly. It was something about how could you make $50 on one share or something on Microsoft.
The question was,
I
had to do with the size of the move.
Yeah, that's what, there it is. So was it you there, Paulie D? But if it is, I don't mean me and Neil can answer any kind of question that you might have at any time. So put your Q&As in the chat. You can super chat $1. It just pops up to the top so we can see it a little bit better. But we will try to get to all of the questions that we see. So that's, we're not avoiding anything. So just please ask us if you have anything. I'm going to bid some more out on Disney here at 58 if we can get it right now. So that's going to be something that we're looking at.
The chips are really weak right now.
Yeah, but there must have been something said. I mean, that's the thing. You mentioned the AMD conference, and actually AMD's bouncing a little bit.
Micron's very, very close to 73 even. Yesterday's low, here we go. Yesterday's low, Micron 73. If it gives this up, you still have over an hour to go here in the day. So there's time for either, you can bounce off 73, I suppose, or you could break that down. AMD is the one that's the one that's in play. I just moved my Apple level to, I keep charts up of the stocks that I'm sort of following. I had Apple up there. I moved that to AMD because I think that's the better mover. And AMD, there is your triple bottom-ish, including today, 164.40. So if this is going to continue to move down, I don't know if we get a chance to trade the 118 level. It's trying to bounce here. I want to get in the stair step to the downside into that low of the day. If the market is going to just go sideways here, then you want to try to find something which has a reason to move a little bit more. And AMD into a 0.16 down market is down that full 1%. I mean, if you were to pull up SOXL, you can look at what the semis are doing in general, but I like this one in particular, just simply because, again, they had the event and they're leading the way. SOXL's down 0.9, this is down 1.1%. So I just want to, I prefer shorting this if I can. I just don't know if we'll see 118. I might look to 117.5 to try to put something on. Brendo.
Just seeing, I pulled up Sofi here. It's not really doing much, but Biden administration going to relieve $4.8 billion in student debt for 80,000 borrowers. So that just popped up, but again, Sofi not really doing much, guys.
I don't know how I feel about policies like that, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know, man. Some people work really hard to pay off their student loans, and some don't. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so what did we just get filled on? Oh, Amazon. Okay, so here we go. Maybe a possible new trade to discuss. Oh, what's up? Hold My Beer says this reminds him of school. No one's trying to be his friend. So I said to you, yo, what do you need, my guy or girl over there? Sean, attention, probably attention. That's all. Okay. So what's up, Hold My Beer? There you go. You get attention from me. Right there, what's up to Hold My Beer. If you're ever in Toronto, you can buy me a beer and then we can hold it together, but that doesn't sound good. All right, well, anyways, the buy my beer part is fine. All right, so here we go. Amazon, just quickly, we just reloaded it. This is gonna be about as simple as can be right now. Short side, I have the level. My stop out is the same as before. I haven't even changed it, man. 146.25. So I like to see it break where we were short initially. We're in a little bit early, but sometimes you have to be in this. Sometimes you have to be in a little earlier than you'd like. We will average it up. But the thing is that as the trade happens, like there's our stop. Remember, we were getting short here at 17s with an out at 25, in which we wind up taking $1 on. So 10 cents worth of risk to take $1 is pretty good, which is why we have that little piece left when that does happen. Then we put on some more there, got out, didn't get out there. Now we're going to put on a little bit more. But as we zoom in, you can see VWAP has dramatically changed. So I'm going to use, actually, you know what? We can still use those same levels. Like I don't know if VWAP matters a whole heck of a lot right now. And the reason why is that the market is nowhere near it, and we're still bouncing around some of these tops. So I'm still going to use that as a top. We'll average it in a little bit more near. Well, I mean, right now we're 5 cents in the money. Let's see if it goes. Just quickly on Disney. I don't know. It just shot up like crazy, but look at all these outs right here. I mean, we were talking about going 1-to-1 on this trade. It is a counter trade to the strategy because we're down on the day, but up on the stock. That's not a great situation for that. I wanted to ask people in the chat, or maybe you, Neil, like, I don't know, like this announcement for the student debt. Sofi is such a big piece of that. No, so I don't want your opinion on it. I'm just saying, like, what should that mean for Sofi? Like, why is it? I would have thought that would have tanked Sofi a little bit there, because now they're not collecting some of those interest payments if the government just pays it off right away. I don't know if there's some sort of a deal involved there, but I thought maybe that's what this move is there for Sofi, and it's already baked in. But
it feels like maybe it's baked in.
Yeah.
But it's a hard topic not to have opinions on.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why not? Why is Sofi not really moving when we're getting that announcement now?
Well, I think it's
all talk right now. That's
we've seen this before. Like, it's been talk for quite some time.
Right.
So I think, I'm just, until you see something firm, I'd sort of just trade Sofi how you normally would. I don't know that you want to get into this, because this is probably, I want to say it's like the 4th or 5th time that we've seen something like that, and I don't know that we've seen gigantic reactions out of Sofi, and is like the amount of money involved is ridiculous.
Look at Amazon.
One of those things that I can sympathize with either side of it. My opinions aside, which, again, it's a tough thing. I understand why some people are like it's unfair, and from that standpoint, I can easily agree with something along those lines. But I want to get to this FIO stock. Is that even how you pronounce this? What's the name of this company?
I'd say that's FIO, yeah.
Okay, PHIO. This just broke VWAP on a decent volume spike. Now, the float here is obviously part of the story for PHIO. FIO Pharmaceuticals is 2 million float. When the float is small, I want to give it a chance to go. And this is already showing you a press into $2. Let me just go to the daily chart for you guys here first. It is a reverse split special. However, this is a day 2. When I say reverse split special, stock reverse splits, falls like it's supposed to, finds a bottom, oftentimes at $1. In this particular case, it's at $1, like it always is. Regains $1 and starts breaking out. You can't make this crap up, and then suddenly there's a reason for it to be going up. Small float when you reverse split, all that good stuff. This is like a day 2 breaking out from that $1 level. And it's not really even day 2 because it was like an aftermarket move. So I like these at least until they really start to give it back up. It's just held the higher low in the aftermarket at 150, and it's trying to take VWAP, so I want to look for longs above VWAP. First things first, there's size right here. There's actually size at $1.72. That's this level. 173, so someone's sitting right underneath this previous high with a bid, maybe 20,000 shares. So I want to look for a long bouncing off this level and then just hold it into this. If it breaks the top, take like a quarter out, and then hold some in at $2, probably take another 2 quarters out, and then have 1 quarter left if it takes out the high of the day. I'll always hold something for the break of the high of the day, but scalp it to the high of the day on a move like this. Bouncing off VWAP, I look for the press to the high of the day. If I was shorting it off the high of the day, counter trend, I'd be looking for a retracement back into VWAP. This is what I like. And I don't want to short this because it's like a day 2 type thing, and it's showing signs of breaking back out. Tomorrow I might think it's a short, but today I want to give it a chance at the long. Havana Woody says CYTO is juicier with near the same stats. Okay.
Have a look over there.
I'll look there. It's a penny stock, this one, though.
We'll just do this though. Money. Right now, no matter if you want to make 30 cents on CYTO or make $3 on it or whatever, you got to stay in your lane and trade the stocks that you know best. And Amazon, people like, I see the chat. It's like I tried to explain why people say, why are you shorting Amazon? I thought I explained exactly why I was shorting Amazon. I mean, there's VWAP, there's the short, there it is. So there's 20 cents, there's 30 cents. We're now in the money 30 cents on this Amazon short. We just shorted 145.95. You can see the price that we have. It's now down to 70. So we take one out at the 50 period for 20 cents, one out for 30 cents. And now we'll see if we can get lower on this one. I mean, for me, I always, again, the demons that I'm battling right now is share size, because like I was thinking that this was going to possibly come up a little bit more than that. And by the way, we're basically flat on Disney. Disney just took out that top, but again, I feel like this was proper share sizing to be in order to not got killed there. Good outs. But again, I definitely realized this, and shout out to the midday show, because this is not trading my plan. Remember when we were in this, I said like Disney was up on the day, market was down on the day, therefore you should be going long on Disney, not short on Disney. We went short thinking that this VWAP break was something else, and it was not. That was the problem, this was not. So we should have just waited for VWAP, then this would have been much different, and then this hit would be only short 75, out 80, we actually got 82s there, 81s, so that was an okay out. But that would have been 6 cents, and then down here, we covered some at 58s, which was 18 cents. So that would have been 3-1, which would have made it a little bit more attractive. But unfortunately, we took that little bottom break there, as I thought, we're gonna get that garbage out of here and then go lower, but that does not happen. As you could see, I thought the risk on this trade is well worth it. I wouldn't do it again because of what I just said there about the risk to reward on why it doesn't make sense for me, but I still feel like that was a decent opportunity. Another decent opportunity that I thought we had, which we had a good winner and then didn't win, again, was Starbucks. We talked about this. This is a 33-year record for Starbucks, and what that is 12 straight down days. So Starbucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
What?
12, yeah, 12 straight to 32 or 33-year record, 12 straight down days for Starbucks. And again, I think that we had China downgrade a little bit. I think it's Howard Schultz, I believe, former CEO. He is stepping down, or maybe has already, which is fine. There's a succession plan. That's not the worry. It's just they're trying to get their new plan working. And then they did have some... I was actually talking to my wife about this, and she was explaining it a little bit to me. There was GME moving. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. Like, I'm going to go back over there. This is like one of the only red stocks here that we have today. But Starbucks.
C3AI.
Starbucks. There was something about. This is not an opinion to have, and people are going to talk about it on the chat. I'm going to talk about the stock. There was something about Palestine and Israel. That's what my wife was saying. There was some kind of a post about employees. Plus, there's something also about potential unionization in this.
So the move down's like a boycott kind of thing? Or?
Kind of a boycott, but I think it might be the other way. It might be like a pro-Palestine thing, which is still fine, still a boycott. But I think there was something there about that, and I don't know it enough. Just that was the wife was saying. So probably a potential boycott there for Starbucks. So I don't know. To me, that's not enough to get 12 straight days. Like when you're talking about, a $56 billion company, or even more than that, I guess. What am I talking about?
That's a heck of a boycott.
Yeah, that seems like a big move. So I don't think it's that specifically, but hey, you never know, man. I mean...
stranger things have happened.
Okay, Ramin's telling me there is something about that as well. So, okay. Yeah, so there is some political ties with this stock. So that's it. We'll talk about it. I'm only talking about it as a stock. I think you can get... I want to buy more of this, but in this area. So let's see, there is some relief rally today in Starbucks, which is surprising to me. So I wanted to go short off that high right there. It doesn't appear to be coming into play on that short. So that's why I shorted it. I did want to talk about it. It's Starbucks, and I did try to short it.
So I got into PHIO, had to look for it to bounce a little bit there, and then got filled on the way back in. Hard to get it on the way up, so as it comes back down. My stop's underneath 170. I don't like it exactly at 170, but it's not too far underneath that on PHIO. I want to see it make that bounce play we're looking for. My offers are sort of out, as I was mentioning the plan. But you said GameStop, and then I remembered C3AI is reporting, and I'm 99% sure it's after the bell today. Double checks, after the bell today, C3AI. It just made this move trying to get back above 30. So double bottom, now a triple bottom at 29.5, effectively. I mean, it didn't quite get to 29.50 there, but that's close enough. It's almost a triple bottom here and trying to make a break back at a 30. Now, just because it's reporting is the reason why I want to look at it this afternoon, because if it goes squeezing through 30, I like its chances. Even if it stays an inside day on C3AI, you've got lots of room to get to the 31 area where there's clearly been some sellers. So I'm gonna have my eyeballs on this. Anything with a catalyst or potential catalyst like reporting aftermarket, those are the types of plays that can give you some juice. So we talk about PHIO. AMD doesn't even want to get anywhere near 118. Like this bounce is not very big in AMD. I hate low of the day breaks at 3 o'clock. They're not the best entries to navigate. To be honest with you, like a lot of times the best way to set up would be to short into the bounce, and that might have been the opportunity just there at a 117.30. And I'm not in it. You know what? I can probably work something off 117.40, but again, that's like 50 cents away now. So I was trying to be patient, thinking I would get the big level at 118, but I am looking for shorts in AMD after that event. Obviously, it's weak relative to the market, and I mentioned SOXL, pulled the chart up and didn't actually show you guys. That's my bad. The thing is, I have the charts up here, and I'm like, yeah, I said SOXL was at the lows, but this is breaking down as well. So the group is going down. It's just that AMD is a little bit weaker than the rest. The other name which I could pick up is an entry back into ARM. So I like this off of the 62 level. So I want to get some short, 61.75 to 80. On ARM, get out if it breaks well over 2, like 62.10 or something along those lines, and then play this back into the low of the day. So I like ARM short. Just want to make sure I get a good entry price. I still like AMD if we can catch that. I just jumped into this PHIO looking for it to break that 180, and there was something else I wanted to get to that we have not talked about, and that's Tesla. Randy came by and was like, "How's Tesla doing?" Because he always asks how Tesla is doing. It's important.
Oh, he came by to ask about XOM as well. XOM getting S-kicked.
Yeah, it's not been good for a while, but anyways, the politics that's going into this strategic oil reserve thing, it doesn't make any sense. I think we can all understand that when you say, when the strategic oil reserve for the US is at like 40-year lows or whatever the heck it is, and it's at the prices that you said you were going to buy and you're coming up with excuses as to why you're not buying at this levels, like something will happen politically that'll make it all of a sudden a good time for them to buy. I do think they're going to replenish it, and it's just a matter of time.
At what price?
It's just going to be a matter of like, at what price is it going to have to get to before they do that? We'll see. But Tesla here, 243 support. Come to my chart for a second. 243. That was lunchtime support. It's afternoon resistance. So it looks like a little bit of a kind of like a flip at that price. I think short into 243 makes some sense here on Tesla. Dan McIsaac, we didn't cover Nat Gas. I know it's not looking good. I don't trade it. I keep saying it's called the Widowmaker by a lot of people. I didn't make up that name, and I don't trade commodities in general. I'll trade oil stocks every now and then, but the closest thing to trading Nat Gas was a swing trade on Tellurian because it was $1. I say it every single time because I kind of stay in my lane when it comes to that.
Yeah, part of that oil move today was there was a build in gas, nat gas. So, maybe people are already sort of stocking up a little bit right on that. What's up, Ponzi Fonzie? He says LFG. Oh, you want to say LFG about something? Yeah, you know what you're probably doing it about? LFG, baby, it is Amazon. We just put this one on, so how does that taste? Now 50 cents in the money to the downside for A to the M to the Z to the N. AMZN, that's right. Nice move downside there. We'll wait to see about 145. And I just took another piece out. Why? Because we were just at this bottom again. Nice little crank lower there for Amazon. I mean, I hope you guys are in it with me as it continues to go lower, as does Affirm is trying to break lower as well, as does Sofi, as does hopefully many names for us all here today. So I'm just getting locked and loaded on a few things. The one thing I did want to show you guys was this. I thought this was pretty interesting. So here we go. Thanks to Adara for this. And join me tonight on the recap shows. We have a new segment called Sean's Tweets. So things that I tweet out or whatever, we'll be posting them up and hopefully being able to talk about these. Look at this. So I know Kathy always gets like, a little bit, not disrespected, but it was a rough year, obviously, in 2022 for them. Look at this. But if you invested $1,000, this is what this is, over the past 5 years, where would you be today? So here's Warren, you know, just kind of going along his way. And we all know that that's basically passive investing. You know, I mean, Berkshire is the 9th largest holding in the S&P 500. I don't even think it should be in the S&P 500. How could Berkshire Hathaway be in the S&P 500 when 50% of the stock is Apple? Like, is that not outweighting that? Anyways, we'll talk about that after.
Well, my argument would be as long as you account for that in your weighting, as long as S&P 500 accounts for that in their weighting of Apple,
right?
Then I think it's fine.
And I don't know how.
I don't know if they do. They should, in my opinion, but.
I mean, that's why like Apple being 7% of the S&P, but yet this guy holds billions of dollars in Apple shares. But anyways, as we go up, I just want to show, this is pretty interesting. If you invested in one or the other, obviously, if you invested in ARK, $1,000 back, I guess it's 5 years, so 2018 November, I don't know if it's exactly what that is, but there it is, 5 years. So 5 years to the date. You had 4x your money in two and a half years. That's the way a portfolio like Cathie Wood's is gonna work. You're gonna have to get in and out of that as you see fit. And then there's the move down, and there's the break, of course, there's the run up during COVID, and there's the break back down as a lot of these names give back value. But at the end of the day, it's 1,100. So if you gave money to Cathie, or ARK, it's not her, but ARK, then you would be up an amazing $156 in the last 5 years. And you actually wouldn't be up that much, but 74% is still a lot when you look at this. But anyways, that's the return there, ARK versus Berkshire. So there it is right there, a nice 73.27%. Meanwhile, the one thing that's not in here, I just read this right now, 140%. So if you just said, thank you, Warren, and thank you, Cathie, but I'm just buying the triple Qs. 140% doubling Warren Buffett's performance. So again, ETF buying, passive investing, I still believe in it. And that just goes to show you that it does work at some point.
You know what's jokes? Well, it's not jokes. It kind of fits the conversation. I was just, I was in Halifax visiting my brother. That's why I was there. And he was asking me about specifically, got to get to FPHIO, but he was asking me specifically about, for you guys, like it'll be like a Roth IRA here in Canada. It's like a TFSA, and so like he has an RSP, which is like your 401k in the United States. So I'm just gonna quickly show you PHIO. So remember I said my stop was just underneath the 170. You guessed it, 168 underneath. So I went for the long 75 here, looking for the breakout trade. There's my stop. There's it breaking now lower. We get in, we get out. I like to look for, when I think the market's going down, I like to look for longs that are either big support or give me a runner. But one of the things that I was talking about with my brother was he was asking like, well, what should I do with my TFSA? And it was in the context of the big move up in Bitcoin. He was asking me about like Bitcoin ETFs because we have one here, the Purpose one in Canada. I was like, you're free to have a percentage of your portfolio in that if you want. And I just simply said, just buy the market. And like it's the simplest thing to do. I think it's the smartest starting point. Just buy the Qs. Just buy the SPY and do that, like whatever amount you want to put in. Okay, if you want to start creating a position in it, then this month buy whatever you think is like 10% or 25% of it, buy it then, and then buy again. I would say 10% and then buy it every single month till you have what you think is a full position, and you don't even care. Just buy the same dollar amount, build a position in the SPY or the Qs. It's the easiest way to start like managing money. Then you can branch on to individual stocks. And he's like, well, can you give me some stocks to pick? And I was like, not really, because I don't think it makes any sense unless you actually are buying and holding the general market to even worry about picking individual stocks. It's just like one is hard to do and one is really easy to do. Buying and holding the market is really, really easy to do in a sense. No, Dan McIsaac, I'm not going to tell him to YOLO in small caps. The very first call it mutual fund or whatever that I invested in, my first actual investment that was something I was doing on my own. Anyone that knows, when I started day trading, when I first started making money, I made money on penny stocks. And so the first thing I did when I wanted to buy an individual stock is I made a penny stock plan that did everything you could do wrong in that penny stock play. I got in, the catalyst hit. The stock gave me over 200% to the upside. I was like, yeah, baby, this is going great. I took out absolutely nothing. I thought this is going to be a big-time home run for me. I then, as it broke back underneath break even, I think I lost like 5% on it because I just stopped out underneath break even. So, you learn those lessons pretty quickly, and I don't want anyone to have to. That's an easy one. If you're making a play like that, if the catalyst comes and it spikes, take profit. Take profit and move on to the next. That lesson and lessons like it are the kind of thing that anybody can learn, A, by watching the show, but B, if you want to become a trader, with our campus program. Now, this is all about, and we talk about this is all about learning for free. F-R, I almost said I-E, E-E. Trade real money and gain real experience. So you're saying, well, what is this program? I'm gonna jump right down to the nuts and bolts of it. Anyone that's watching, you guys have probably heard us talk about this. In this program, you get an introduction to the markets and the basics. Learn the rules. Be like Neo in the Matrix. Learn the rules of the game before you jump into it. So you're going to get a chance. There's modules. There's an exam at the end of it. It's a couple of days to learn about the basics of the market. Then you learn the platform. Understand the tool you're going to use to engage in the market. We trade on P per 8 here at Day Trade the World. You're going to get a chance to learn the platform that Sean, myself, Brennan, everyone here, Sharif, Adara, all the traders behind us trade on this same platform. From that, you spend a couple of weeks learning the platform, then you get into the training module, which is called TMS. It's a simulator. It's a great simulator. It does a good job giving you an idea how the fills are going to work and taking positions on. You're going to get one-on-one coaching during all of that. After about a month or so, you have the chance to get to go live. Everyone wants to go live. You go live on this account in phase 4. You still get the one-on-one coaching. The ability to become a funded trader at the end of this is there based on performance. This is about 16 hours a week of work. So it works great if you have a part-time job or you want to do this on the side and learn, as long as you're willing to commit that time and be focused on learning the markets, the platform, and learning trading. I think it's a great program. You don't have to be a student. It's not available to anybody in the US, unfortunately. Is what it is, but they're accepting applications for the January 2nd start date. So if you're interested in that, you got all month, but I wouldn't wait to apply. Apply now. The worst that can happen is maybe it's not a fit for you, but if you want to start your trading journey, here is a free chance to do it. Most places are going to ask you for money to be taught. Here at Day Trade the World, the only thing that gets asked is that you put the time and effort into learning. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but it does mean you can do it in a way that's going to be easier on your pocketbook. So that's the campus program, campus.daytradetheworld, or scan that QR code below today. So from that, I showed you I'm out of PHIO, but I got to go back over to this Lucid. It's just a very simple support to resistance consolidation type play here. So Lucid, I was in the Lucid breakout this morning when it broke out at the high. Couldn't get past the 70s. I had a 57 long. It got to like 470 and turned around. Tried to reload, didn't work. Since it broke support, it's just been a short in the low to mid 40s and then getting out when it gets to 40 and then below. So I've been doing that on Lucid. I like Rivian for a setup to potentially move. The problem with Rivian, like Lucid's is kind of stocked. It'll move in a 5-cent range. You can trade that. Rivian needs to either break down here under VWAP or get back above VWAP and break it out 19. If it's not doing one of those two things, I don't think there's much of a trade. As much as I'd love there to be another trade in Rivian, there just isn't. It was a good stock today, but it's kind of running out of steam. The next name, I keep talking about AMD because they had the event and they're down today. It's retesting the higher low that it put in. I'd look to short this pop into this 1740 level. Well, I'm still trying to be very, very patient when it comes to AMD. Should have went with CYTO. Havana Woody said CYTO should have went with it. You know what? You're probably right. It's a very similar setup. It's a very similar setup. That's easy to say. It's easy to say because I'll tell you, like if I take this one, I'm like, oh, you just said this one sets up better than the other, and maybe I agree with you in that moment. I think I see two setups, PHIO and CYTO. I randomly flip a coin and pick one of them. The answer, generally speaking, would be either take both or pick the one that distinguishes itself. When I pulled up the daily chart on CYTO, it didn't have a couple of things I was looking for. Like I like the fact on a day 1 or 2 type play for that reverse split bounce, I think it's got very explosive upside. Explosive meaning it can double up, triple up if it breaks the high of the day. So that was something that was in the favor of PHIO. In CYTO style, this was more like just a normal penny stock play, like 50 resistance to support, go long in here. That's like a 48 half. you try to risk like 1.5 cents and try to make the 55. It's very much like a scalp play, not a breakout. I think it's going to go parabolic type play. I thought they were different type plays. But you're right, it is a good long in here. And technically, it's a good long. I just worry about this level. If it tries to take the high of the day, clearly it rejected 55 to 58 before, and that's a big gap fill. And penny stocks tend to respect those gap fills. That said, if it takes out the high there, Havana Woody, and breaks 58 cents, if it breaks 58 cents, I'm kind of interested because that's a lot of room to get to 80. Only 45 minutes though.
Why Sean shorts Amazon, they say. All right, it's $1 in the money right now. There it goes, right back in. I mean, again, back into the day's low. This name is absolutely rocking. I hope you have this one in your portfolio, fine. But for a day trade, even better. Nice move to the downside. And yeah, what's up, Ryan? Amazon go boom. Affirm go boom. So there's Affirm now. Okay, so one is $1, one is $3. So they're both members of this right now. Oh yeah, and by the way, Microsoft, $2 in the money on this one as well. Look, it's going to be a fun day regardless at the end of it all, but I'm not getting out of anything now. The market's downside here. We just broke the low of the day. It's all about favoring one way, right? I mean, that's I was talking with Patrick over here, Justin, and it's just like, watch out for the NASDAQ. That's if you're going to trade big cap names, you need something that's called a leading indicator. It's like if you're going to trade XOM or CVX or Oxy or something like that, you're going to look at the oil futures. You're going to trade something like Neil was mentioning, Tellurian or something. You may look at Nat Gas. So if you're going to trade, it's different with Apple and Microsoft a little bit because they kind of are the NASDAQ, but if the market's going to be going down and you have some red name, like there's no doubt that when this happens, it's easy to say like, oh, look, there it goes. Like we called this, but you never know where these stocks are going to go, right? And so like this kind of a dramatic move down. I mean, Neil and I have the capabilities of putting on thousands, tens of thousands of shares. So I would have done that, if I known this. Obviously, hindsight being 2020, you're not going to make these calls all the time, but this was a good one, and that's why you want to work on process, right? The Midday Show talks about process, talks about learning your trading, and that's actually right on today's topic of journaling. It's like, so I would just write down next time, have a little more faith when you've been, doing these things 3 or 4 times and for 22 years, that as well. But the thing is like, watch for your trades. And if there's something you like that gives you that, try to take it again. But at the same time, right, Starbucks, again, a name that's up today, we went short, wrong. Look at that, right? Disney today, a name that's up today, we went short. I don't think it was necessarily wrong, but that trade didn't work out. But look at the other trades, right? Affirm. Look, it didn't work out. These shorts were busted all up in here until we got up 10%, right? Once you got up in a crazy amount up here, like Affirm was to $42 from 30, well, it was up more than that from yesterday. So the bottom yesterday is 38. So it gets to 42. That's $4 on 38. That's up 10%. That's maybe where I should start looking short. So again, you make those mistakes coming in, and that's, if I was journaling, that's what I would say. Do not short strong names despite what you think of the market. So I'm feeling pretty good about this Affirm trade, but again, if I had known that, we'd be doing cartwheels, which I can't do anyways, in this office on that big move. So Affirm, thank you for
just get Gia to do them for you.
Yeah, exactly. So there it is. She could do an amazing. Gia could do like no hand cart.
Yeah, there's a word for that, isn't there?
No hands.
Yeah, is that what it's called? I thought it was called something else.
No, I don't know what the word is called, but I don't even want to talk. Sometimes she looks like a kid in like Exorcist, where you're walking backwards. Like I hate when she does that.
See, it freaks me out too.
Yeah, Gia can do that.
Yeah,
a lot of people can do that if you're in
gymnastics. It's that walking bridge thing.
Yeah.
But it is. It's literally from The Exorcist.
Flip over again. It's
from
really
The Exorcist.
Weird.
And if you were young,
kids are weird.
We were young when we watched The Exorcist. That shit it's a scary ass movie. And
just
quick
quick
though.
Yeah, no,
yeah, whatever it's called.
Shout out to everybody that has kids out there. You guys know what we're talking about. All right. Yes, Ramin. Mr. Chris Brecher is confirmed. And I told him, with lack of Daniel Shea coming through, I said, Chris, the people are hungry for options talk.
Yes, we are.
So today on the Market Recap Show, we deliver again. It's options on the recap show today. We have that. We have GME popping. It's going to be a good show. Trust on that one. Trust me, bro. Might get that guy back on actually soon. Okay, here's
Only if he trusts us, bro.
all right. Affirm.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
you know what? We should do that. You know what you guys should do? Because I play it. Well, we both play it up. But when Randy shows up, all of a sudden, right? I'll be like, what the?
Actually, that works.
That works. All right.
It
So
does grab your attention.
$3 in the money. If $1 in the money is not good enough for you, Affirm is $3. If $1 is good enough in the money for you, Amazon is exactly $1. And if you're like, you know what? I kind of like my porridge somewhat cold, somewhat hot, kind of just in the middle. What about Microsoft for $2? $3 with Affirm, $2 with Microsoft, $1 with Amazon. So that's what's good. And we get the reload. And this one, we may just get it out, man. We got our position on N to the I to the O right down there at 81s, sorry. So we're long. Actually, we got some 80s. Oh, no, that's from before, right. So our average price is 80 and change, but it's more near 81 coming up. So watch out for this as we get up to the upside. I'm going to try to take something out, honestly. 85 would be fine by me. And then if we're lucky enough to get 86, that'd be kind of cool too. So far, so good. Nice little upside move for NIO here. Let's see if we can get something out. But 3, 2, and 1. 3, 2, on Microsoft and 1 there on Amazon with only now, I'm going to say 30 minutes left. And if you know why I say that, put it in the chat.
If you watch the show, you should know. And if you don't know,
now you may not know yet.
Well, it's a matter of seconds before someone puts that in the chat. Someone's going to. But the market is breaking low of the day. I want to get to a question that was asked me about AMD, and it's an easy answer, but I got to answer it anyways. I just got low on Lucid. It's now breaking the channel to the downside. So now that it breaks this channel, I look for the mid-30s. I'm no longer bidding at the low of the day. I'm waiting for it to get a couple more cents down. It's a $4 stock. I don't think this is getting past 420 today. I'd be surprised if this got past 420 today. I'll be happy to get this out on the way to the 425 level on Lucid. The question was about AMD. Someone said, Neil, if you believe AMD is going to 117.40, why wouldn't you go long? So when I say I'm looking for the short up here, it's not because I think it has to go up to that price. It's just that that's the area that I want to short it because that's where I think the resistance is. It showed me it bounced off it bounced off 117 even, and when it failed that level, right here, or so when it got back to that level above 117, it put in a high at 117.40 and then reclaimed underneath 117. So that tells me above that even dollar level, there's definitely sellers that halted the move above 117 in that 40 range. So I want to be short with an out up there. I want my out to be at that price, which means I want it breaking 117 so I can get a better entry. If I was so sure it was going to that price, sure, I would go long, but I'm not. I'm looking to enter a short and do not want to pay the low of the day. It's not enough for me to say I believe AMD is going down. I need to set up a trade for it. If I had shorted it essentially where it was at that moment, then I'd be 40 cents in the money, risking 50 cents. It wouldn't even be that successful of a trade in my eyes, even if it would have worked. So I wanted to get a price that was better. I did not get the price that we wanted. It's going to happen to you. It happens all the time. But speaking of things that are breaking down at key prices, Square is right back under VWAP here. So just looking at what price. This is like 68, 66. Of course it is. We're just talking about The Exorcist. But I like under VWAP. I like breakdowns late in the day. If you lose support from VWAP, there's a lot of room for something to drop in, and this is the setup that I like. Especially given I know if it breaks back above VWAP, I can risk to like 75 because VWAP's at 70. So I want to get a 50 short on Block, which is what I should be calling it. Scarjo Rabbit, Fisker going bankrupt. I don't know. It's $1.40. So your guess is as good as mine. What the probability of that is. Here's what I would say that I believe for quite a while. I'm not here to tell you which ones are going to go bankrupt and which ones are not. But suffice to say, in the next 2 years, several of these EV companies aren't going to make it. I think that's an easy comment to say. Right now, the market seems to think. I mean, look at the stock. The market seems to think Fisker is one of them. That's the easiest way to think about it. It's not looking good for them. I'd probably trade it off $1 if it got there this week, and it's seeming like this is going to get to $1. It seems like, and a bounce off $1 on a stock that does the volume with the short float that this has, that's going to get me interested pretty much every single time. I like Rivian's chances much more. Even despite the fact, I know I'm in a Lucid short. Lucid's been holding a higher low above $4, and the longer it can hold that higher low, I think it's coiling up for a chance to break higher. Just this entire space has been sick for quite some time.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it's getting any better. Like this Polestar, actually Polestar doesn't look that good either. PSNY's chart looks pretty nasty. It's not to pick on Fisker because you can pick on, you just said Fisker in the chat there. So we could talk about any of these names. None of them are immune. Where's my daily chart loading on PSNY? Oh, come on. All right, trade ideas. There you go. This is about to break a $2 low almost imminently. Like it's just hanging at that bottom. The day we break $2 on Polestar, call it like 198. That's probably a good short. I'll take that trade. They could be going bankrupt as easily as Fisker is. Would. Maybe.
All right. As this market continues to go to the downside, guys, the only position that we're in long right now is NIO, and that was off 780. It's broken 780. I told you my offers were at 85s, and that's where they are. We didn't get the fill, so we're going to go 8 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents. If this breaks 775, we own, and we will get out of that one as all these shorts are getting better, man. The market continues to make new moves down. I did want to say a big shout out to, this is the first time I've ever seen this in the chat. Someone was like, oh, right here, this is you. Shout out to this guy here, Ludo Kid here. 37 minutes left for the marketing recap. It's the market recap, but we can market it if you want. So thank you right there for doing that for me. But yeah, it's coming out. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up real quick is because I just made the rundown for it. And there's a name here that we haven't talked about that reports tonight. Whatever happened to our earnings calendar? We used to have a great earnings calendar coming through. Not yet, not today. But yeah, Sharif. Yeah, I just heard Brendan say that. Yeah, Sharif. And with that, hit his subscribe thing, Neil, man. This guy's...
Like, subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
Maybe as he's burning his 1,500 calories, he'll be able to see that and then realize that we don't have it. But today there's a couple good ones, and we're just playing around with Sharif, the third hardest working guy here. Look at this, Chewy right now. Yeah, man, they're reporting after market close. We have the biggest and the baddest. We have GameStop after market, and then one that we haven't talked about, and it's going to surprise you, Neil. It's C3AI, man. AI reports. Like we get ramped up for Nvidia, all the chip names, then we have AI coming through, as well as Thor, who will be dropping the hammer down tonight on earnings.
Wait, no, you hit the wrong one.
I didn't hit anything. Oh, Fabian.
No, Fabian hit the wrong one.
Okay. So,
we literally have joke drums. When else am I going to hit this?
That was a good one.
I just want a graphic to go with it.
But look at this, man. C3AI. I feel like we've sort of left this one here today, and this would have been just as good as Affirm, guys. Like, nice double top there. Would have hit it to the downside. But again, I do have to say something like, I don't love, although we were in GME off $15, I don't love to trade stocks for sure, just like heading into earnings. We were long GameStop twice. That fell on our face a couple times. The reason why I wanted to call this up for everybody was because A, I'm trying to prepare for the after show, which should be really good. And then B was I wanted to look at this. So short float, wow. Like 34, I feel like this is the highest I've seen this name because we would have definitely highlighted that. Like I know Carvana's in the 30s, but 34% short here for C3AI. If they can just come up with something, they have such a... it's funny, 15 years ago, 3.36 billion would have been a decent market cap. Right now, it's pretty much minor. So we're going to have to wait to see. This name could definitely blast
especially
there tonight with just turn profit. I don't know if they're going to do that, but like...
Who needs profit when you have such a clear message? When you have such a clear message about what it is that you're delivering.
Right, when you know exactly what you're doing and everything.
Yeah, and everybody in the chat understands. Dan McIsaac literally asked in the chat, knowing full well that the answer is I don't know. It's like, what does C3I even do? And every time I read it, I'm like, okay, that's great, but I can pull up any other company that puts in AI, and I'm reading exactly the same type of thing. So I don't necessarily get it.
Slab Shop guy is hilarious. He goes, jokes on you, market makers.
love
I actually hate money. That's the best. I feel like that sometimes as well. So there you go. Where's that hi-hat again? Like I'm trying to set this stuff up.
Is that
here.
actually called a hi-hat?
Yes, man. We talked about this before. It's that
Did
little,
we have that conversation?
Yes, man.
I still want.
It's called a hi-hat. So
Ramin just said it's called a badum.
Yeah, it is
Okay, that's. We love you,
ting,
Ramin.
ting.
That's very.
do like a little percussion. My kids are in percussion right now. They learned violin, then they got to do percussion, and then off to the cello after that. But right here, this is Slap Chop guy right here. Jokes on you,
Don't get
market
drunk.
makers. I actually hate money. That's great. I just thought that was pretty.
The
funny.
market
Like,
makers.
imagine going the other
Oh.
way. Like that would be fun. Like, if you feel like you've lost a lot recently, it has been tough. You know, we've sort of talked about that. It wasn't a fantastic month around here, but still, you got to battle around, right? Same for me, same for everybody. I'm talking about the month of November. So if you are in a little bit of a rut, I mean, Christmas, there should be a little bit less volume coming through into the close every day. You could see, I mean, today was a good opportunity to trade to the short side, but if you're looking long, it's been a tough day for sure. Look at this, higher. I mean, these are highs, but lower high, lower. Still drip down all day. So we've had such a great month that it's been hard to fight the trend. And if that's what you've been doing there in the month of November, I could see that. And then, but you keep your heads high. And the thing is, what I was going to say was,
And
if
then
you
kill 'em with
have
the low.
yeah, exactly. If you have been
No, sorry, actually.
having a rough month, I think that what we talk about, join our midday show, because going over new strategies, understanding sort of the mental, as Sharif says, that can be a big problem. And I just think like lowering your shares might be difficult for some, but sometimes it is the right thing to do. I saw someone in the chat say they've lost $40,000 now over the last 3 days. Like, again, the numbers don't really mean anything to me because trying to be immune to the numbers.
What's your winning day?
That's it. It's like 40, like it's like I lost $40,000 the last 3 days, but I made $1 million in the month of November. So then it's like, okay.
You lost nothing.
You lost 4% or whatever. Like, so that's why the numbers are irrelevant, and that's why, we don't necessarily talk about P&Ls that way. It's more about how have you been doing? Is your month of November, were you 10 winning days, 10 losing days? And if so, your P&L should be net of fees somewhere around flat. If it's not, reassess the risk that you're taking on the trades that you like, right? And I think it's all about risk assessment, and today's thing was journaling. So, I mean, go back. I didn't want to say this on the show. I've never journaled, but it doesn't mean that it's not very, very important to do that. And I may have done it real early on. I don't think I've journaled in a hell of a long time, but it doesn't mean that it's not an absolutely great thing to do.
I stopped journaling after my first year.
So there you go. So Neil hasn't journaled in 20 years.
The thing I did replacing the journals is I review my trades like a mental. It's weird. This is a weird thing to say, but it makes sense to me. Like I go through a trade mentally. Like I remember what I saw. Why I get okay. Well, what was going on at that level? What could I have done differently? Man, I was looking at the tape, and why did I like a long when it looked like a short? Like those types of things. Now you can talk. If you talk to yourself in your head all day long, then you might find that like writing it down you don't necessarily need. But when you're starting out, it is valuable. The one thing it does for most people is that it separates the different strategies that you do when you actually codify something like that. Because that way you're not evaluating every Apple trade like it's just a trade on Apple. Well, one could be a breakout, and one could be off support and resistance, and one could be a pullback into VWAP. Those are all different, and how you trade them differently matters. If you just look at how you did on the stock, here's a perfect example. Lucid, I took a breakout trade this morning. Here's Lucid. Like how I evaluate this breakout trade versus this dip buy is very different. Those are two different trades, and I have to look at them differently and how I responded to it differently. And then I have to ask myself, why did I not, after the reload failed, and it retest and it re-put in this resistance level at that 453 previously, when it failed it here, why didn't I short here at 450 with a 4-cent stop? Like this, that's the question I'm asking myself. Because I'm in the same setup when it took another stair step down. It's a stair step down setup after a failed break. Why didn't I short it here? Like I liked it here, then I should have liked it here as well. My answer was I wasn't looking at Lucid at that moment, and it's the truth. It doesn't make it the right answer. It's just what it is. Like I know if you're looking for a short after a failed break, this is the first step down. This is the second step down. It just broke the low. By the way, I got some out there when it got to 435. Lucid's the only thing that I'm into the south side. But that's my thought process as I'm going through. I don't have to journal anymore because I talk about it all the time. And the other thing I'll do is, these guys have heard this, whether spread trading or whatever it might be. Like I'll talk to other traders about this is what I was doing this morning. I chatted with Brankles today. You go over your trade and saying it out loud and going through the process and why'd you get in, why'd you get out. That's the same thing as journaling. And when you're starting out, having it on paper does matter. Sofi just gave up $8. I really thought Sofi was breaking this one out. So much for closing above 8.
Yeah, I feel like that name might be.
It's been trying to break out for quite some time now.
Should have got out today. I did not get out of Sofi. I did not get out of Snapchat. I was very distracted. I didn't do anything I said I'd do. But you guys are 100% right. And so I am going to start to cover this short. I mean, Amazon was about to go, and then it just quadunked again, back down into the downside and looking for this bottom of 144.80. So Amazon's still $1 in the money. Microsoft $2. But let's start to clean this up real quick because, again, just battling like this, we don't need to be here. 369.50. It's about as easy as we can be. 369.52. Out. Okay, so there's that. Microsoft triggered out now. So that's going to sit there. We just did talk about our Amazon out. What else we need? Affirm. Let's look for some outs. All right, how about the 50-period moving average? Sounds good to me, Sean. So here we go right now, 39. Oh, I got to cancel my old one before I do this, or I will get a fail message. 39.12. Out and accepted. Okay, so I just want to say about that.
Oh, that's true.
I'm basically reviewing my trades right now. Like, so that's the one thing, and I did want to correct myself that I have not journaled in the way that Neil was explaining it as well, actually writing things down. I do have a book here somewhere where I was writing ideas down and looking at things, so I do feel that although we are in a age of very digital everything, I do find that sometimes when you write something on a piece of paper, it does tend to mean a little bit more.
It triggers something better to your brain. There's a thing behind it. There is a thing.
Yeah. So I believe that, and but the other thing too is like Neil and I have to sit here and justify our trades basically to you every day. So to me, that is kind of like reviewing.
It's kind of the same thing.
I'm literally saying to you, remember today when I was on Amazon, I was like, okay, well, next time, wow, Amazon, okay. Next time I'll have a little more faith in putting in more shares. So it's like, I'm kind of like journaling as we speak. And then of course, the sticky note is literally the work that we put in on that. All right, 144 and change. Like, I don't know what just happened here at Amazon, but it just went down to the downside as the market did that move as well. So right now, let's adjust our Amazon stop as we speak and go right to here. Let's just do the 20-period moving average. Actually, let's just do 145. We're close enough to 145. I mean, not 154. See, that would be a keystroke error. 145.02, right? So again, we have this stop loss position here, and because we're getting close to the imbalances, whoever said that win, and by the way, everybody said that. This is one of my new favorite keys, and you guys have seen me do this before. Shout out to Day Trade the World for programming this in, and it will send out. I don't know the gateway, so I'm not going to say it exactly because I don't know, but it's going to send out a marketable order. This would be a limit order, my bad. A limit order at whatever stop,
I know what gateway sends.
Me too, but I just don't want to say it. It's a marketable order, not a limit order, at whatever stop price you put, and then you can sort it by percentage out. I know it's very, very simple. We do have more, before I keep going, we do have more complicated order types. Did I just put that out twice, actually? Yeah, I think I didn't cancel my other one. Okay, it's all good. But anyways, we do have more complicated order types that will trade a little bit differently than this one. But that's pretty simple. I like it. So we'll use 100% and get out of everything if we can. We are almost at our highest spot all day. It would possibly hit if Neo gives me that 85. So again, we just said 10 cents worth of risk, possibly out right there if it goes back upside. It's NIO. That's a trade that we're looking at right now. Softy, we have the out. Amazon, we have the out. Do we have the out for Affirm? 39.12 I put, but let's just do 39 break. We break through 39, we're gonna get out of Affirm. So that's it, man. Good day. I hope everyone's enjoying it. 12 minutes till the imbalances.
I want to shout out, well, I want to appreciate Matthew here. First super chat from Matthew Horton. So thank you for that. We don't ask anything from you guys except enjoy the show, hopefully learn something, get better at your trading, and stick with our community because we do have the best trading community out there for the only live trading show. But are there any written materials we can study that outline the general rules and principles followed here? Thanks for everything you do. The short answer is we don't look. Neither one of us we haven't written a book or anything along the lines yet. However, we've gotten this before, and I think at some point it probably behooves us to put some of these things down. That said, there's a reason we go over these processes every single day, and we talk about this, and I'll say it ad nauseum. Like I'll explain the exact same setup 10 times, 10 days in a row. If that's what it takes. That's why we do it, because this is essentially what we're looking at. So I understand that can be frustrating, and maybe you want us to write a book. That's not an easy undertaking, and obviously we're here every single day doing what it is that we're doing, and it's not easy to just throw together a book while you're doing this. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy.
Stick with us. Maybe you get ChatGPT or something with other people. I have no idea. But we don't have like a specific book that we've written. I wish I could tell that we did. I did take a position in Square here. I said once Square broke down this support, looked for the first curl and resistance underneath it. So that support level was 68.46. It bounced off 68, curled right here at the 30s. The buying kind of stopped almost dead in its tracks at 30. So I shorted at 27, giving it to that local high. It just got the 1-to-1. And if it breaks the low of the day, I'll try to hold through that. But I'll give you another rule because, so anyways, I may have talked about the fact that I do like spread trading on the side sometimes. And I got the genius idea after not observing a stock. If you trade, I can basically spread trade stocks that don't move, but with certain rules if I've been trading the stock and looking at the levels for weeks. And that's what I'll usually do. However, I broke a rule of mine, which was I here yesterday? Was I here the day before? So I traded a new stock trying to play off the ranges that I thought I was confident with and end up losing on it. And essentially, it doesn't really move much, but trust me, that's when a stock I'm expecting to have a 3-cent range has double that range, well, things don't go well if I'm trying to make a market in it. And it can go poorly. And that's something, if your edge on a stock is literally watching the tape like that, like if I was trading a penny stock and I was trading Mullen every single day, and I took 2 or 3 days off of watching Mullen, so I didn't really observe how it was trading, I might back off that stock. Now, it's different when you're trading setups and breakouts because those things apply all the time. But if you're at heavy market making type of trading, or you're trading a very specific post earnings or whatnot off a certain level, and you weren't there to watch how it traded at that level, sometimes that can be almost like a no zone for me. If I'm trading because BABA bounced off 100, I'm not going all in unless I was watching it when it bounced off 100, because I need to know what's going on at that level, the way the stock is trading, especially if it's a new stock. If you've never traded a stock before, I think you want to watch the tape in level 2 to get some kind of an idea what liquidity is like at all price levels, not just the current price that you're looking at. It's all well and good.
Something just got.
I was looking at natural gas.
Oh, Microsoft just ripped up a little bit.
It's all well and good to know what Lucid looks like in a general sense, but what happens? What's the tape look like, and what does the level 2 look like when Lucid breaks a high of day? How much liquidity is there at abnormal prices? It's going to have all the liquidity you want at these prices. Answer is Lucid still has plenty of liquidity. But ARM, not so much. If ARM's not at a key level, you're not going to get shares. So you got to be very careful when you're trading something like ARM and get very specific prices. Because when I'm shorting into VWAP, I might start at 62.60, but I know I'm not even getting all in until it shows me a move into 63. Because that first 50 cents doesn't matter as much. That's half of it's just the spread on the stock. So be very careful. Make sure that you're paying attention to the stock you're trading, know its rules, ins and outs. You don't have to dive in right away. They're all very different. Let's go to the desk and take care of some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
They always do.
Yeah, they always do. There's always some kind of term and or condition. All right, so we are now out of Microsoft. I mean, it's a banger trade for today. So my number one P&L trade today is going to be Amazon. I mean, we have numerous shorts. Shout out to Mr. Jones in the chat. He's rolled with me on this short, and I mean, it's been pretty great. It continues to go lower. We're going to adjust our stop right now. We had that at 145. Let's cancel that. I'm going to go right here. I don't want to give anything back. 144. I mean, the thing is, if I just keep on getting out like I did, like we wouldn't have had it. But again, you know, we still have on board 25%. So it's a good trade. So, okay. Let's just get it out right now. 144.75. Ooh, it's coming up right now. All right, it's because that was a big move. 144.81. Let's do it. We got it. Okay, we already did cancel. Let's put that order out right there. I'm trying to get out. We only have a couple more minutes until those imbalances come out. So we want to clear out.
It's bouncy.
Not roll out, but clear out right now. Affirm, our stop is still 38.70. That's coming into play very soon. So that'll probably get stopped out. And then unfortunately, NEO just bounced off 84 again. I think we could have got it if we were waiting for 84s. We're long at 80 and change. It's actually 80 with a 70. So it's just a little over 80 half, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. All right, there's an out right there. It was Amazon just triggered out. So let's go. Let's spin the money. If you are rolling with me, I mean, who else? Someone said in the chat there, Raul, I think it was, said that he paid a lot of money for warrior trading, learned nothing, and has learned over 100 times more from us. So I want to say thank you so much for those kind words. It was 661 to sell, and we are completely free. That's the more important thing to me. And then there it is. So not only am I giving you the in, also giving you the out. So right there, we are now out of that trade. Congratulations if you have it. Let's go, Neo. One more penny, and I think we're good. We just got to get that 85 print. And that could come on these imbalances. Let me just take a quick look, and I'll throw it back. So these are the brokers right now. So these are the broker fills. It comes from our broker. So all they're doing is saying they've gone around the NYSE and noticed these imbalances. So let's have a quick look. A lot of sells. Brendan brought it to us, 661 to sell. We have Chewy, we have GameStop, we have AI after the market. Should be another interesting earnings day. So make sure you join me for that. I don't see anything that I'm in right now, or Neil, no, these are all, he's in 2 NASDAQ names. So there's no NASDAQ on here except for ones that you're going to see from 9:30. It looks like there was a little bets left over.
Huh?
I mean, this is 400
Oh,
million.
I know that style.
This did
That's a penny stock, isn't
yeah,
it?
or literally 3 cents. It did
Okay.
800 million shares yesterday. So look out for bets right now.
That did almost $1 billion?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I
was
didn't know it
800
did.
million yesterday at the close. I was looking at it. Or maybe it was 2 days ago, but anyway, it did do that. All right, so nothing on here, long story short. Oh, you know what I was looking for? I was looking for NEO.
What about Palantir? No?
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, yeah, so we'll wait for it. If it's on here, it's going to be a lot lower.
I'd have thought Palantir maybe.
I'm not going to look at anything over 100 Gs there, or under 100 anyways. Okay, so we just got taken out, which is all good, of our Amazon trade. Other than that, nothing else happening.
So AMD did eventually get to that 117.40. It ticked 45. I think the high tick was like 44 or something like that.
Okay.
So I got 34s on the way back, 44 stop. It just got to 101. There's only 3 minutes left. So, I mean, I could make an argument. If it had been after 350, I wouldn't have taken the trade. After 350, it's almost like a different, like, gimmicky type of setup if I'm trading after that, and I want a more significant level. Like, I'm usually looking for after 350, I want to trade off a big high or a big low. Maybe a VWAP, not necessarily like a lower high like I just took. So I'm going to go, I'm not going to move my stop at this point because the stop's at this top wick anyways, and the imbalance is coming 3 minutes. If it's a buy imbalance, AMD takes me out. If it's a sell imbalance, it gets to the local bottom. Lucid, we can hang on to. We got most of it out. It's Tesla. I mean, Tesla, I got to cancel that. Obviously, I'm not going to get the short in Tesla. But Tesla rolling over off that 243, that's one to file away for tomorrow here on the 15-minute. Obviously, if it gets to this double top, anybody can see 247. It's what happened at 243 when this was looking strong off the morning bounce, higher low 243, broke it down, turned immediately into resistance. So that support level turned to resistance. I think I'd look for 243 significance on Tesla. And then the other missed opportunity was Coinbase. The Coinbase did stair step it to the downside pretty clean. You keep saying, man, Coinbase, when you double up in like a month and change, It doesn't take much to get big time pullbacks. It's down 3.5% today. Like the way this moved up, it could pull all the way back into the teens, and that would still be like a pretty bullish looking daily chart. So I'm not saying it goes into the teens, but I'm certainly looking for some short opportunities in this tomorrow based on the way that this was giving it up today. Like this was seriously bleeding every like it would bounce and consolidate, but when the short started working on this stock, I'm hating the no executions. This is the one here, like 138 there on Coinbase. Someone in the chat, I think, said they got it. So congratulations if you shorted Coinbase. To be honest with you, I mean, this is the kind of thing where if you were making an argument for what did you need to do in November, probably one of the best trades out there was just go every single day, look for a long in crypto or Coinbase itself. Mara, Riot, those things were all pretty hot fire if you stuck with that sector. It's easy to say in hindsight. But on the way back in, try to catch some shekels on the way back in too.
Okay, just real quick here as we go, because we are getting into those imbalances. You know what stock's been really hot fire? The opposite of Starbucks. Look at McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's almost has like, talk about a V-shaped recovery. I mean, dude. Again, a lot of these stocks got hit, and the McDonald's CEO is talking right now. I don't know if it's an investor day or what, but he's saying he sees a lot of opportunities in beverages, coffee, and sponsoring some kind of a live trading show he's mentioning about right now. So I don't know, maybe we should shut that out.
Or Timmy's.
Or somebody. I told the guy at Tim Hortons, because the guy like follows me, and every time I go in there, he's like, Sean. So he said, I see all your tweets. It's great, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I need the number of your CEO. We can talk about that for the show. But right there, 290, I guess it would just be the marketing department. I don't need the actual CEO. And that is QSR Restaurant Brands. It's not Tim Hortons anymore. It's a public company, of course. It's still Tim Hortons, but not private ownership. Okay, 290 right there. So, McDonald's coming into a level. I feel like if you're long this name, and again, this was a lot of the Eli Lilly, the GLP-1 drugs. There's it. So the balances are now out. I don't know what they are, but we're going to have those in just a second. Let me call them up for you because that took me by surprise. Let's just go here and go with, we have to customize. Oh, no, sorry. What have I just done? We want to get rid of the source here. There it is. Just show you the NASDAQ names and the NYSE names. So it's TLT's always on here. Seems like every single day. Oh, here we go. It must be a big sell. Brendan's not at his desk. So if someone has it, let us know because it's Apple sell side. Look at this move down in the market right now. It's going to look bad because everything's falling. Apple, Microsoft. There's Google with the sell. There's Amazon. My out's going to look bad on Amazon now. Actually, not so bad. Okay, so it's actually not moving that much. Look at Nvidia with a nice downside push as well. Does anybody have it? There is no day trade. The world office is in Chicago. We are not able to operate in the lovely United States. I just got to go over
I don't see it.
Financial Juice.
I don't see it.
All right.
Oh, there it is. It just came in now. 2.4.
billion.
2.4 to sell. It just came in just 2 seconds ago.
So again, it's not, I didn't predict that. It's just when you add this all up, there it goes. So I think what's been happening recently is the number that Brendan gives us at the beginning, it's tending to be that way, but then it just gets bigger into the close. That's 2 or 3 days in a row. One day we had like 800, or maybe it was 800 million to buy or something, and it came out 2 point something. Then yesterday I think it was a small sell, came bigger sell today. So let's wait to see about that action, but makes sense to me that we had a sell move. Affirm is the only position we're in. Well, we're also in NEO. I don't know about that one right now, but Affirm still continuing down. I'm just going to cover very soon, man, because I got to go over to the desk at some point as well. So let's just cover Affirm. Good trade, man. It's $3.40 in the money. It's AFRM.
Yeah, I only have Lucid left, and I'm even on the bit of that stock. I just got out of AMD. I just put a trailing stop at 117 on AMD here.
It's coming down more.
It just came right to this even dollar level. Looked like it was going to break down with the market, and then flipped. Now remember, at 355, anything that has an imbalance is likely to start pairing off. It's always a big event. So I generally speaking want to try to cover things or tighten up a stop before it gets to 355. So we got a shot at the level. Clearly, it's better to get that level if you can catch it at 240 than worrying about it at 340. At 340, there's not as much time for a day trader to make that work. Like it's going to go the 40 cents, and sometimes that's it. Like it was worth. I think it's worth $1 in terms of the amount of the move, but the time of the day that you get, it's going to matter as well because we're up against the clock. Got to be out of our positions at the end of the day. So I'm on the bit of Lucid at 440. That did bounce back into the upside. That's showing you Lucid here. I thought this had a chance to break lower. It did not, so I just hopped on the bid. It'll still be a win, and I still think Lucid, it's got support at $4. Maybe we see that tomorrow, but a test of the $4 level probably gives you a scalp long, and I want this stock to break out, because I think if it can break out from here, it's got some obvious room to the 200-period moving average. I was going to give a shout out, but then I missed it. Where is it? No. Okay, I'll try to find it, because I wanted to shout out one of our viewers who says their cousin, I believe, and maybe you'll repeat it there because I have to scroll to find it. Their cousin, Alex Ingold, who was up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Yeah.
Which, that's a big deal. Walter Payton was an absolute legend, and to me, like, you can win the MVP, like it's a great award to win. Essentially, in the NFL, recognizing contributions to the community, because Walter Payton was big on that and family. So I think that's a big deal. It's a really cool award to win, and shout out to your cousin for that. I think that's absolutely awesome, Mr. Ingold. Jennifer Schultz saying, I don't think it was Jimbo Slice. There we go, Jimbo Slice. How do I forget Jimbo Slice? That is a freaking awesome name in YouTube. And we have to go by our names because it's really us. But if I was in the chat, you know what I'd be? Because you actually know what I'm going to say here, because you know my email address at Yahoo.
Yeah, I know what I was going to say.
I don't even care. I have a junk email address. I was like on Yahoo at the beginning, and I have an email address that reflects a certain something, and that's easily what it would be. But I don't want to out it because I don't want to get junk mail to it. Sorry, guys.
That's no problem. We got.
I almost did, though.
The problem is you said at Yahoo, like no one would have sent it to your Yahoo. Like everyone, maybe they wouldn't have guessed.
Nobody uses Yahoo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why mail?
I sign up for stuff.
Everyone
with that
says
email
they
address.
use why mail. I'm like, why? But it's.
I keep it because I feel like you got to fill out a form online. It's like I want to have an email that I don't care if you send me a bunch of spam to. So
right, whatever.
I use Yahoo for that. Sorry, Yahoo.
Yeah, it's all right. We got out of Affirm there. We tweeted it out, just a 9% winner. As we get out there at $38.50 for $3.40. But, it's going down lower. We got 83s NIO. I just had to punch out of it. Where is the stock? There it is right here. So, yeah, it looks pretty bad. Actually, it was 82.5 we wound up getting as I just was like punch out there. We ran into a dark pool, so that sucks. Unfortunately, we had 81s. We got out at 82.5. Like, the best I think we could have got was 84. These Chinese, honestly, man, no matter what, like NIO had a great move today and it was a fantastic stock, and then we have to sit here and basically just watch it do this. So not an exciting name there into the close. A name that we were red on the past 2 days trying to chase the long, which hasn't been here. You see 2 red candles, is going to be GameStop. So these guys are going to come out, I don't know what time, but I'm thinking right away. So hopefully they will come out right away and you're going to have those numbers live in just a couple minutes. I'm going to switch over to the other desk and get going on that. So yeah, thanks for watching again. It's been a very, very good day. We'll be net positive. The biggest wins today for me is going to be Amazon. We talked about that. Microsoft, NIO, then Palantir. So Palantir started off an absolute banger and then ended the day as my number 4. So good day overall. Some losers as well with Shopify, Starbucks. Plug Power turned out to be a loser, and funny because it's like kind of right where it is now at the end of the day. GameStop's a loser, so that's 4, and that's it. So, and then Affirm, we're basically flat on that, even though we had that big trade right there into the end of the day because of one of these trades into their flat. So anyways, we'll see we'll see Affirm tomorrow, and we will see you very, very soon. So just a couple more minutes left, and that is that. Square was a good name today, mover for crypto, but it's Chris Brecher, it's options, it's GameStop, it's AI. We're ready to rock and roll here at the close, so see you then.
Yes, sir. And you know what, Dan McIsaac, nobody's guessing that Yahoo email, but you know what, if you do guess it, I'll probably confirm it. It's not that big of a deal, but you're not going to get it. Like, I think, there's almost no chance you'll ever guess it outright, so you guys can guess all you want. I really don't care, so I probably would confirm it if you got it right. I'm a little bit more interested. It's weird to say this, but I think I'm more excited for C3AI to trade than GameStop. I know GameStop can be the big mover, but what I like about C3AI in this case, very, very tight range on the daily with a big short float, and it can be an explosive move. So this is a stock which is giving you monster, look at the earnings spikes that the stock is usually just handing out like candy. You get good 20, 30%, sometimes even more than that potential moves out there. And you're at a pretty good accumulation level. Now, this is on my daily chart. 28's been marked off for a while. There has just been I'm talking like a magnet to the $28 level on C3AI. Like when it gets there, gravity back towards it. When it breaks away, and finally it's usually big moves. Consolidation, big breakouts away. Support break, support broken. And then now it's been hovering off this level and not breaking away from it. If it takes out the top, oh baby. And it works in both directions, obviously, for C3AI. But I've had this marked off for a while, so I'm pretty excited to look at this. With less than 2 minutes to go, I will be frustrated, at least a little bit, because sometimes, I mean, it is like this. Well, went to ARM. Yeah, I can be frustrated about ARM because, yeah, that reload in the short would have been fantastic for ARM as that drops all the way to $61. If you're looking at something like ARM, sometimes the daily chart, just look at the chart. This is 65 on the daily, and this is 60.5. You tell me what to do at those levels. It's all well and good to get a short, but I mean, just short the top into the bottom. And generally speaking, it tends to get there in like 1 or 2 days. That's a fantastic looking trading stock. You've just got to be very patient with your setups and then try to hold it for the entire move, which is, it's not always the easiest thing to do. Like you can have the call, but it's another thing to hold it the entire way. Obviously, we ran out of time here for AMD, which wants to get to lows. Remember, there was a catalyst for them. They had the event today. And AMD now has a triple bottom to work off of. So yes, it's down 1.4%, but there is a clear level of support setting up here at this 116.40 on AMD. Maybe we gap underneath it. That would be pretty interesting for a short. I got 110 marked off. If we break this tomorrow, that's flat bottom break with $5 worth of room on AMD. So there's a heck of a lot that's setting us up for a big potential day tomorrow in terms of trading levels. That's what I like to see, but what you guys want to see is not me, but Adara on the countdown right now, as we've got less than 10 seconds to end off hump day, but we're not done, because you'll be going right to the recap show in 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. Thank you very much, Adara. And I want to shout out specifically not just Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s, but all of the crazy sound effects that they've given us, which I think is adding to the show. We're kind of brainstorming some more, because I think it's a lot of fun what we do there. But a shout out to them. That's an interesting one. We'll have to do that when something flat bottom breaks and then flushes. I like that. It's like, okay, then fine. We won't use it then. If you're gonna mock me with that one, no, it's all good. We love adding some fun for you guys in the show. That's what it's all about. Trading's gonna be a lot of fun. Whether you win or lose, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to get out of it. I hope you're tuning in and enjoying the midday. I think how to trade. It's a fantastic segment. Adara and Sharif knocking it out of the park as always. Shout out to Brendan, as always, giving us the news every single day. And I want to give a thanks to Obi for stepping in while I was in Halifax visiting my brother. It's good to be back. And I'm thankful to Sean, not just for being here every day, but for giving me an apple fritter, which was absolutely delicious and made that nasty pineapple pizza taste get out of my mouth pretty quickly there. Shout out to everybody. Don't go anywhere. You've got GameStop earnings, C3AI earnings. You've got Chewy. You've got Chris himself going to talk some options, and let's go to the desk right now. We've got the market recap show with Sean.
I just hear Brendan telling me Sofi exiting the crypto game. That's not a good move, I don't think, but we'll wait to see what's going on. All right, welcome to the recap show here, everybody. Big time earnings coming through today. You can see on the board there. Thank you for joining me as traders stay late. It's 4:01, so hopefully you're still here with me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Let's go. We do this every single day. It's my favorite show, but I mean, I like trading, but I like being with the people here as well. Okay, GameStop coming out soon. AI, C3AI. We're looking for that right now. But look at oil. Oil go boom to the downside today. Again, energy stocks trade lower as a group. Brent fell by 4%. You can see USO down here over 4.2%. And it looks like it still wants to even go lower, man. Lowest levels since June right now. Dropping back in below or into these June levels for USO, but Brent lowest levels dropping below $75 right now. We did have US gasoline stocks moving downside as well. You can see UNG, man, what a disaster this ETF has been. I mean, if you just go back over to December of 22, you know, you're $20 here. Now you're down to $5. We did have a 1 million barrel rise or surpassing 5.4 million barrel rise there for gasoline. So again, it looks like we don't have too much worry about supply. And when supply is abundance, prices go down. So UNG there. And I'm actually glad that I talked to Sharif about this one, because I remember when he was long over 6 on this, got out, now down to 5. Watch out for this one. But it's been a pretty fun day trading the markets anyways. My eyes are still going, guys. If we get any, well, I hope they're still going, but they're going on the market right now. We're waiting for GME. It's going to come up here. This segment and the show, Trader TV Live, sponsored by Benzinga for all your news needs. Get the Benzinga Pro, still 75% off, I believe. So go check that out. Check our description below. There should be some sort of a code in there right now. Okay, I don't see anything on Benzinga right now for GameStop or for AI or for anything at that matter. So let's just go over and see what's flying through with GME. Here's the daily, here's the 1 minute. If we start to see this thing move, then we know it's out. But GameStop's it's coiling up for something. I think this is going to be a big move. I mean, just over the last little while here, let's see if we can zoom. See now, so I'm zooming one way, and then I zoom the other way, and it does this. Gets it even worse. So, all right, I'm gonna have to flip back over. Let's go to a 60-minute chart quickly. A lot of coiling up in between 17, which was a nice move, down to $14. So you have a $3 area there, which is a big percentage, but it looks like it hasn't made up its mind yet. I'm excited to see what happens for GameStop. Still not out yet. The other name, C3AI. The reason why I like this name again, I like this for the long. I think it might be worth a shot. Only just a shot. Like, don't. This is just a play on earnings, and that is, of course, the short float up here, 34.7% short float on C3AI right here, 34 and change. So again, kind of just bouncing off 28. Let's see where we go. Now, I could anchor a VWAP to see where we're going, but again, watch out for a 23-24 bottom there on C3AI. Man, as Brian Shannon absolutely nailed some of these calls on an anchored VWAP. I'll do better. I'll get better at that and start anchoring some of that before the show to give you some levels of interest. So what was up today? All right, well, let's go over this one. Utilities. Look at this scream higher. Again, why would utilities go up? Well, as sort of rates are kind of going back up as well, but as rates fell back down, they made utilities a little more exciting because of that dividend. A lot of utility companies will repay out their cash back to shareholders, which is why the stocks don't move too much. But again, the ETF, beautiful move back up to the upside. And if we actually look at this on a weekly chart, we did see this bottom came into play. Wicked down to 55. That goes all the way back to 2020, not the 2020 bottoms, but the 200 period moving average back then down to 55. That's looking like a good little level there. My eye's still over there, man. Anything comes out. And I want to shout out to everybody that's here. If you're here right now, mad respect to you. Let's do a little quick roll call. Oh, what's up, Matthew? Are there any written materials we can study? This is not really the spot for this, Matthew. Can you please watch tomorrow morning about 8:30, 9? And I promise you, man, just super chat 50 cents or 1 rupee or whatever, and we will, or 1 Mexican peso, I don't know, and we'll do this. So I can study the outline, general rules and principles followed here. So we will. GME got smoked. Okay, people talking about GME right now. Let's go over without any further ado and see what's out. Okay. Got smoked. Come on, man. Haha, made you look. Didn't get smoked that much, guys. Nice move to the downside. Come on. Where's my 1 minute chart, GME? It's not loading. Let's go, GME. There it is. Okay, down to 14. That's not bad. We just talked about the range for GME was 14 to 17. Now trying to get back out. And the numbers are out. We've got breaking news right now. It's my party. I'll hit that breaking news, stock earnings things if I want to. All right, there it is, Kate. Did you end that early, Ramin? Because I'll hit it again. You funny girl over there. GameStop right now looks like they go minus 1 cent. Sales 1.08 billion. Nice to see a B behind that number for sure. Versus 1.18. So it'll be a down. It looks like they'll miss on both there. So we'll wait to see if we get any guide or a little bit more details about this. GameStop reports quarterly loss of 1 cent, which beat the analyst consensus, my bad, of minus 8 cents. So 1 versus 8, still in the negative, getting better, closer to a profit, it looks like, on that number, but good job. But it looks like a sales decline. So we'll stay tuned for GameStop and see if we get a guide forward. I believe they should not guide forward, but we will wait to see that. GameStop right now hovering around. The reason why I say, like, guys, let's just relax about GameStop. Why isn't this? It's because that bottom is 1450. Like, all we did was touch down there to 14 and a quarter. This was not the end of the world for GameStop. But let's wait to see where it goes. Again, short flow right now, 22. I would say this $12 is at risk right now, honestly. They should have, it should be reacting a little bit better. Here it goes back into the downside. I like to go long into here, 11 or 12, but again, watch out for that low, man. We haven't been here forever. GameStop low of $12. Let's see if it breaks it. Nothing out on C3A. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe AI is out. Let me check the chat. Does anybody have this? There's Brendan Walsh. Shout out to Brendan. Shout out to Dan McIsaac. Dan, thank you so much for everything that you're doing to the show as well. You had some kind words today. Chewy is out right now. Chewy's Q3. Look at Chewy downside. Wow. Chewy was a name again, guys, that I was an investor in at the IPO. It did have its moment in the sun during COVID, as you can see all the way back up here. Made some, no, actually that's not even COVID. How come when I zoomed that worked this way? Okay, we got to go the other way here for Chewy to see what's going on in COVID. But there it is, man, those COVID highs, there it is, 115, 120. And again, when everyone's locked at home and your pet needs dog food or cat food or fish food or hamster, what pet do you have, Ramin? It's probably something crazy. None right now. You know what a fox. You don't have a pet fox. Okay. The thing about it is we actually have in my household an axolotl. So that's pretty unique. And if you play Minecraft, you know what an axolotl is. No, not an armadillo. Axolotl lives in an aquarium. Okay, but anyways, we have an axolotl. Okay, Chewy. The idea behind Chewy is, of course, now Amazon has actually a decent, from what I've heard, a decent pet offering as well. My family gets, we go to PetSmart around here. They have a deal with DoorDash that delivers for free. So my wife kind of waits until the animals are like, hey man, where's our food? Then we'll order that coming through. Well, we don't starve them. What am I even talking about? But anyways, DoorDash, a lot of companies. So Chewy, downside. I don't love the stock, but let's look at the numbers real quick. Here it is. It actually 15 cents of profit, beating 6 cents negative. Sales missed pretty good there. We'll see what happens on a guide, but right now Chewy looking like they're chewing up profits and getting back down to the downside now, $18. Their low on Chewy is $16.90, so yuck for that one. TLT, as we just talked about rates, look at TLT start to go back up. Wow, that would have been a nice little investment there at the beginning of the month. Nice move up there for Chewy, or for TLT, trying to break through. And again, I'm not looking at technicals too much for this, as this is the 20-year treasury. We can all look at treasury yields and see what they've been doing. The housing index, man, this has been a banger, man, a big winner. Again, as people get more positive about the direction of mortgage rates, they get a little more positive about possibly we do not get into a recession. And again, if people don't lose their jobs, they feel a little bit better about spending and feel a little bit better possibly about getting into that new home or figuring out what homes look like with current rates. IBB, I actually think it was it Chris? I'm going to talk to Chris about IBB. There were some biotech stocks. Oh no, I think it was Brian Shannon that was in Imugen and things like that. So, but anyways, the IBB, a nice little move to the upside as well. Chris and I go back and forth. Chris had some very nice words talking about my Pan W trade as of late, and that was a great call back in here in and around 2 bills, 230. Pan W near highs as well. Okay, what else is moving, man? Gold near highs. We've talked about that with Michael Noss the last couple of days about GLD and what he thought about gold. He thinks gold can go higher. I don't own gold. I'm going to stay away from that. I think gold potentially has seen a good move up, and I would probably fade those tops. But again, the big one for me is XLE. I don't... Look, I'm still in a little bit of this name. We did get out the last time it came into 90, which was really good. But again, look at some of these tops. I mean, who thought we'd have two wars right now? And a war, I guess they're wars, right? They're just not world wars. But I thought oil would potentially be going back up to the upside. But as we hear, and again, two sides of it, right? housing upside, and I said maybe no recession. Generally, if we're heading into recession, oil would be going down because the world's manufacturing would come back in as well. Because if a recession hits, you then think that less production for cost or for goods, meaning that we're not spending that money as consumers. So generally, oil making a move down, and this is energy sector fund, that would indicate to me a possible washout, and maybe there is going to be that recession coming through. Look at ExxonMobil. I mean, this name's really getting ring out as well. Breaks through $100 today. We're back to March lows in this name. I think, CVX. I do have a couple tweets that we're going to talk about after we get through Chris, and I'm going to call Chris up in just a couple seconds. But I think that company buybacks, we know XOM has a monstrous one, and I think the biggest one on the street is this guy right here, and that is Chevron. Let me zoom back out a little bit for a weekly chart, see if we can get a little bit of a better take on this. Wow, what a level 125 is, man. This goes all the way back to 2019, of course, and even back here into 18. We're now looking at a W. That's a weekly chart. So look at this key level, man. This goes back to March of 2022. I do that because I'm thinking about buying some oil down here, as if this world's not coming to an end. CVX looking pretty good, man. A nice little drop back in there for CVX. I still wait for C3AI. The weekly chart's going to be foolish on this one. It shouldn't go back too far. There's the IPO. Remember, this is back when even AI wasn't even talked about, man. This is 2020. They came out at the right time, but then experienced a horrible decline back down into $12. Let's see what happens right now for that. So I'm not seeing anything. I do see ChargePoint just came out with earnings. So let's go over that. I guess we can go to next topic. Oops. Topic previous. We're almost there as we talk about some earnings. Let's go CHPT. I know this is a name that maybe some of you are holding as well. ChargePoint, watch out for the minute chart. Having to hit enter a couple times here today. I don't know what exactly is wrong. Do I have the wrong symbol? No, there it is, CHPT. Okay, so ChargePoint's out and not really doing anything either. So, wow, down to $2. And in the first name that I believe could declare bankruptcy maybe I'll talk to Chris about Fisker options, because Fisker is honestly, man, we talked about Starbucks. I feel bad. I own a lot of EV names. And again, another name that's probably 90% down in my portfolio. Look at Fisker, man, bleeding to the downside. I feel like there could be something up with this one, but Fisker continues to bleed down as ChargePoint takes that hit as well. So, all right, we don't have C3AI, but are we ready for Chris, guys? All right, let's do it. It's Trader Talk. Mr. Chris Brecher, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Not too bad. You didn't get the memo about a plaid shirt or what?
Actually, I had to replace this shirt one other time I was on because I guess it messes up with the pixelation or something. So sorry about that.
Who told you that?
I don't remember whom.
I don't know if it was our team, because sometimes my wife, and again, you mentioned that sometimes your kids will watch, it'll be like, man, you shouldn't have wore that shirt, bro. And I was like, okay, and then I burned that shirt. So, okay, we talked a little bit about, I don't know about you, but if you see the way I dress, I just kind of throw things on. But do you always trade at home, actually, or do you sometimes head into an office, or what's your day looking like these days?
Nope. I had our basement redone to make a whole office. So,
and then it flooded.
I have the office in the house, and all the animals are going to be with me when the floors get replaced. So it should be chaos. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Animal House over there. Oh, I love that movie. Guys, shout out to Canada again, Jim Carrey, of course. All right. Without another one of your colleagues, Danielle Shea, she's been moving and she hasn't been on the program for a while. So conveniently, let's talk a little bit about options, if you don't mind. We sort of teased that a little bit, and I know we emailed back and forth a little bit about that. You want to talk about buying options close to strike prices, right? So why don't we go over that? I'll throw the floor to you. I may have to interrupt if we do get C3AI earnings. So what do we want to talk about, and what do you got to show us here, Chris?
All right. Well, it's funny. I was going to show you about for next week, like the laggard ones, and we made money on the long side that way. But I thought I'd show you the last minute trade that seems like a lot of people made money with cheap options was in the last 10 minutes. You know how we talk about that last 10 minutes, but you have to see that kind of pattern set up. So a lot of people bought the 185 puts. They were like 23 cents right in here, betting on that path of least support. I'd like to say like water running to the basement, but that's a sore subject.
Yeah.
But a lot of people bought those and did well on those.
So-
but that's one way. The
Chris,
other
can
thing
I
I wanted
can I
to show you,
interrupt?
though, was exactly what you mentioned about Fisker. So I have no idea what they're doing, but how many of these have we seen where once they declare bankruptcy, the stock like goes to $4?
Right.
So instead of playing it, heck, you could go for next week and just buy the December 1 calls for parity. So if it goes to 0, you lose 45 cents.
You know
but
what?
if it does that crazy thing, that's a great risk reward kind of way of playing options.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up then, because I actually don't mind that. They have not declared bankrupt or anything like that. It's just the way that it's going to the downside there. I just figure like something is imminent with Fisker. But you know what? I actually don't mind that. And that would be an example of buying something close to expiration. I wanted to know, was that a Brecher ledge that broke there? Like, why was 185 so important? Because I was short a lot of the market as well all day today. I didn't see that IWM trade that you just mentioned there, but I do like that break level there of 185. And if you don't mind, it was 23 cents. If you bought those puts for 23 cents, what are you looking for? I think we've talked before, sometimes 5 to 1 or 6 to 1, something like that. Yeah, you tell me how that
wasn't as much. Well, one of the objectives, that's sort of a Brecher ledge. Thanks for mentioning that instead of a flat top flag, a flat bottom flag. But the minimum is that width of the prior move. So we were talking about 60 cents. But the 60 cents also would get it right to fill the gap.
Right.
So we were going for 23 cents to, let's say, 80 cents.
Okay.
Just for that gap fill. It overshot, but that's what we were going for. And there were a lot of other indexes that had those little flags all day. Those were exciting, all those flags. And then the SPX has a huge flag that's forming. And let me show you, and the NDX. So there's the SPX, and I'm watching that, but the NDX is a lot more prominent. Check that out. So I know that's a lot of lines on there. That's like me waking up after sleeping on a corduroy pillow. But let me show you what I'm talking about.
What was that reference? Sleeping on a corduroy pillow?
That's why there were a lot of lines. It's similar to that.
A lot of lines.
That's an old joke. Well, that's a dad joke.
Yeah, well,
but that's what I'm looking at right there. Is that bear flag right there? And if that doesn't hold, there's very little support till down here.
Chris, let's look live together. How about that? You want to look at some GME? Right now, GameStop, I'll give you a second to look at some GameStop for yourself here, but GameStop's starting to move a little bit. We could talk about options. I feel like a lot of traders are going to be trading options here on GameStop. For me, we are starting to move back up to the upside here on GME, of course, into earnings. And I mean, look, we're not a bunch of uneducated traders around here. We do know that as you get closer and closer to earnings, the price you pay there, the premium is the word I'm looking for, that you'll pay on an option increases, right? But what about, in your experience, the day after, or maybe a couple days after? Would it be possibly wise to let a stock like GameStop settle down, and then therefore maybe the premiums will settle down, and then we can hop in? Because honestly, this is a zero move for GameStop. I feel like the applied move was about 8% if you go over to Options AI, and right now you're up 1.6%. So I guess those that just wrote these things and captured the premium are going to make bank right here. What do you think about GameStop and some of the movements that we're seeing right here?
Well, the way I'm looking at it is it's the consolidation the day after or the next day, because if it goes up like that and consolidates, then the slightly out of the money calls are just going to get destroyed, even though it looks like a bull flag or a bear flag, because the market makers on the floors don't care about the chart pattern. They just care about the theoretical value. So if we see this, let's say just tomorrow, do that.
Yep.
So the 17s will be nothing. They'll
Right.
be like 5 cents. But the projected move of that flag might be $2. I mean, that's a fantastic risk reward of definitely the consolidation after the first move.
So we can't really check out GameStop premiums now because obviously during the aftermarket they're gonna have to update tomorrow. But I don't mind that 17 call. Was there anything that maybe you're looking forward to tomorrow, or did anything you sort of, and you don't have to tell us your positions or anything, but maybe an idea that maybe you're holding, looking for something to happen into tomorrow so that we can keep our eye on it before I let you go here, Chris?
Sure. Just to let you know, we were short a ton of things this morning, so my position was hiding under my desk, but it ended up working out pretty well. But basically what we're doing is we're looking for these stocks, as you see on the bottom left, that the theory is that a lot of these dogs that have relatively good patterns, like Sava, is if the whole market's implode, sure, this is going to go down with it. But if the market stabilizes, or let's say GME pulls everything up, you can buy slightly out of the money calls for next week that have a great bang for the buck, because look at this possible bull flag. I mean, that could be 4 points. So then you go over here and you look next week and you look, well, at the moment, they're a little expensive. But the 22 calls for next week, this settles down for a couple of days in this zone, and those will be like 20 cents. And those are amazing risk reward then. So that way you don't have to get too scared about buying something and then saying, I got to hedge with the Russell and do this and that. A lot of these cheapies work. And another thing is to look at things like this, even the $5 stocks. So we bought some of this and we still like it, because if you buy the 4 calls and it goes bankrupt, yeah, you'll lose. We bought them at 60 cents. But if this breaks up, this could go to 5.5 to 6. So they're good risk reward. I wouldn't say the 5 calls, because the 5 calls are 20 cents. It has to go to 5.20 just to break even.
Right.
So it's the in the money ones I like. And the way we do it is you price it by the puts.
Okay.
So if the puts are only 5 cents, then you only have to pay 5 cents over the intrinsic.
Chris, if anybody has any questions about any of that, where can they find you?
Well, like I said, under my desk, if I'm dead wrong.
So what's your address?
Overall, in the chart patterns mastery room with simpler trading.
Okay.
And then on Fridays, I'm in the essentials room, which means that if you're a member of any of the parts of the site of simpler, you can go and tune into the essentials room. And I'll be there, I think, at 12:30 Eastern.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you for all that information. Again, another great opportunity to talk options. Good luck with the animals if they ever have to come up with you, and try to stay above your desk. There's lots of good things happening around here, and we'll check you at Simpler Trading. Thank you so much, Chris Brecher, Trader Talk. Hey. Ciao. Have a great week. That's Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, once again coming through. Wow, how disappointing, honestly. I mean, how disappointing has GameStop been today? I saw Dan McIsaac and some of you there in the chat. I apologize, I can't be in the chat and do this show. It's me, Fabian, and Ramin right here as traders stay late, but me and Obi might be the only ones here right now. I said Ramin. Oh, she trades Pokemon cards. I just heard Fabian say right there. But no, I just thought GameStop's a little disappointing, man. It's hovering right where it closed. We thought with earnings there may be something going on. Did AI do anything? No, it did not. Up and down as well. So a little disappointing here today for some of these movers. I don't really see much happening as I check out. Here is the scanner from Trade Ideas. We have NOV moving around. I don't even know what this is, to be honest with you. MLGO was a nice mover here today, down to 850 right now as we go. SPWH, feel like there's a low float all the way back down, so that one's having a little bit of a problem. And I'm not really seeing anything else. So what this is a Trade Ideas. It's called a race. And what here? Oh, you can't really see it here. If I go like this, you can see a little bit better. So it'll just highlight stocks that are moving here based on time and sales. See, here it comes, and then there it goes. So now that just reset. They're 2-minute races, so we don't miss anything. And I'm not seeing anything right now. So make sure that you do join me every single day. Okay, Sean's tweets. We only have 2 minutes left. Let's do that real quick. quick right now. So I like Twitter. Do you? All right. So right here, we just talked about that. What's up to Gunjan, man? I was trying to get her on today. She said she's busy with the GME earnings, but that's why I wanted her on. So hopefully we can get that going on. Shout out to Gunjan. But look at this. Corporate buybacks. Remember I was talking about Chevron, and we've been talking about Apple has a big one. Google initiated a big one as well back on. They're at their largest right now. Inflows versus outflows are at a historical high right now, reaching all the way up here. So companies are buying back shares, okay? So they're thinking that they don't have any new, they're not doing M&A, they're putting money back into their own company, which could be a reason why we've had a lot of these corporations back up to the upside, especially some of the banks as well. Hasn't worked for the energy names, but I did want to bring that to everybody's attention. Corporate buybacks at highs right now. So we'll go back over. That was that post I thought was pretty interesting. We talked about this on the big show as well. This is Kathy versus Warren versus the NASDAQ. Right now you could see 5 years ago, Warren Buffett up 74%. If you just follow Berkshire, if you followed Aunt Kathy, you were up 40%, 400% at one point. Now you're back down up a nice $150. That is next to nothing. The S&P 500, or sorry, the NASDAQ, however, not charted on here, I have no idea why, is up 139%. So that's a big move, man. The NASDAQ would be into here, into the 2000 area, right? So NASDAQ would be beating, and again, I talked about this with Michael Noss, and I quite frankly disagree with him. Passive, it was different. We're talking about swing trading versus investing for a long term, but if you just bought the Qs, you'd be up that 140%. Now again, passive means, you know, you're sort of just putting money in, you're not really analyzing the market, maybe dollar cost averaging. I still think that wins. I spent over 20 minutes last night with Obi and Mateo talking about, I said, you guys have the biggest advantage of all of us. Know what that big advantage is? I'm going to see if anybody knows it in the chat right now. I can't give you the example exactly, but the biggest advantage right now, what do you think that is? Okay, the next tweet that I want to talk about quickly is this one. And this is not because we have Palantir in our long-term account. I have a lot of stocks in the long-term account, okay? But look at Palantir as it keeps getting hit down. I just wonder why. This is their growth here. It keeps on growing. Their FY23 even higher right now. And it just keeps on going. It's known for its high demand for AI. Right now they have Foundry is what it's called. They're bringing on more contracts, more consumers. They don't, that's the problem. They don't have anything for us, the end consumer. But if they can bring on some more businesses, I like Palantir, and I just want people to look at that as you're wondering about Palantir. Look at this trade on Affirm, baby. Affirm was a fantastic trade today, making that move back in. We had a couple good trades today. We are now over with. So that's Sean's tweets. Go find me at TraderTV, Sean. It's been a great day, but we have to do one thing. Oh my God, is that train running me over right now? I feel like I like that one. That's a good one. I do like the alert as well. I do have to shout out some super chats because without everybody being here, we would not. I don't have, today is Wednesday, so tomorrow I'll have a Thursday night play for you. What's up, Mr. Westermeyer, Hayden, Nathan, Jay's Passion, Ian Respeto, Matthew, Horton, and a new member, Dragon, man, or Dragon. Right there. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Everybody part of Super Chat. Wow, there's SPWH. Let's check out GME before we go real quick to see if there's anything happening there. There isn't. AI doing anything? No. But the one thing that we have to do that we cannot forget is roll call. So let's go, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to have a new little gift that comes up for the after show. I saw that another. Thank you so much, Andrew Chow. He says another one. You are right, man. Another great show. Thank you to Chris Bretcher, and thank you to everybody out there that's here with me now. So let's do that right now. Hey, it's Professor Jordan Love. He's here as well. What's up? They say not Jordan. You're going to get that shout out to the C3. I don't see it out yet. I mean, I'll double check before I leave. What's up to Roger? Dan McIsaac is here. What's up to the Piper? Thanks for your patience. Thanks for joining, man. That's what I want to know. Charlie's here. Rohan is here. Thank you so much. Dinesh is here. Elisa's here. Benzia's here. What's up, my guy? What's up, Ryan? I know you're a good friend as well. What's up, Paul? Bristol's here. Jimbo Slice, good name. We already talked about that. Bob Curran, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, but welcome, my friend. Thank you for joining. Professor Love is here again. We already talked about that. Dinesh is here. Mark Johnson. Henry's here. The MVE is here as well. Elsa, everybody. What's up, Paulie D? Shouts out to you guys as well. Look, thank you so much for watching. It was a pretty interesting day. We had some good trades on. I could review all my trades, but then I'd be here forever. Join me on the podcast. One more day of this, and me and Brendo are going to go off the cuff, and we're going to have the best podcast to date. That's going to be Friday. We're going to release it on Saturday. We're here, man. I feel like I'm built for podcasts and maybe built for this as well. Holy biscuits, look at Nicola. All right, because you mentioned it, I'm addicted to everything. Not trading, not everything. Wow, Nicola, what just happened to Nicola? Nicola falling out of bed. Thank you so much for that one. Oh, here it is right here. Uh-oh. I said the thing to go bankrupt would be Fisker. Nicola offering 200 milli. You hear it here first. Thank you so much for that. There it is right there. Oh, 100 million of common stock, 200 million of convertibles. Nah, ain't nobody converting that. Look at that. Nice move to the downside, 87 cents. There we go. I do not see anything on AI, but let me just type it in here because someone asked, is C3 AI out? So let's go. No. So C3 AI out, not out yet, according to Benzinga Pro. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean Coutinho. You're now rocking with the best traders. Stay late. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody.